Point a shot, rebound, score!
WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Another tough loss for the Celtics at TD Garden last night. They blew a 12-point fourth-quarter lead and came up short to Houston 114-112 at TD Garden. Amen Thompson capped off a career-high 33-point night with a game-winning shot over Jaylen Brown with 0.7 of a second left. And Joe Mazzulla saw Dylan Brooks add 36 points on 10 three-point shots.
We hit some contested ones, and it wasn't like that we didn't adjust to them. We just hit some contested ones, but it's the ones that you can try to take away with the transition and the offensive rebounds.
Brown scored 28 points for the Celtics. They host Chicago tomorrow night. Former Celtic guard Isaiah Thomas is going to turn 36 years old next month. Yesterday, he signed a contract to play for the Utah Jazz G League team. The Bruins will be in Buffalo tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Both Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm were full participants at practice yesterday. Neither of them made the trip, however. Mark Kastelik and Oliver Wahlstrom are also out. David Pasternak yesterday voted the NHL's #1 star for last week. New Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel continues to add to his staff. Yesterday, he hired former Jacksonville and Buffalo head coach Doug Marrone to coach the offensive line, and former Chicago offensive coordinator and interim head coach Thomas Brown will be the team's new tight ends coach and passing game coordinator. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. They've teamed with Charlie McAvoy again this season for 73 reasons to defend New England's first responders. Visit servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
Fred Toucher on Instagram. Follow and see dog hunting videos.
And Hardy.
I'm going to withhold sex.
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Yo. Can we use this for the radio?
What? Let me hear you say, oh. Na, 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 na.
Crush me, mommy.
Just not enough booty to go around? Say my name. I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the folk.
I'll chase you around a little bit.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Instagram.
I want to dip it in, boy.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Down from Abilene, there was a hole in the wall gang. I'm an outlaw, and I go so far, and then that's all you know.
It's in the song. There's like a false stop, and then
I thought you did it.
Get you.
no, it's like
I thought you did it because you
it's
thought
like
you.
Bush swallowed. False stop throws you off when you're a rock
You know
DJ.
what? You shut your mouth when you start comparing Bush to, what is that, Queens of the Stone Age or some crap band like that. Bush, the original rockers, the original grunge rockers.
Yeah, that's right.
But I wonder, Fred, if when you're seeing stuff like that, though, if you haven't accidentally dipped your toe into like a free trial of YouTube TV.
No. It's
no
just
toe
it's
dipping?
clips. It's like clips with like 100 views. Like it's like a guy has collected a bunch of clips, and then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, how is this not like why is someone else making money for this? Why is YouTube making money for the intellectual property of someone else? It's the same thing as that if you want to listen to clips of Opie and Anthony or Howard Stern or old Mike and the Mad Dog or Mike Francesa getting prank called, those are all up there, but they're the intellectual or of me doing certain things, like saying things on the air. They're not up on the 98.5 The Sports Hub thing. They're just of, because I've searched myself on YouTube before, and so I'll come up from time to time. And, there's clips that people put up of me that's got, 100,000 views. That I don't mind it, but the station, I would mind it if I was the station.
Yeah.
Or if I was NBC Sports Boston, where it was originally broadcast, like it's your intellectual property. So I just am wondering how long this, like they kind of controlled Napster and made it what it is. Kind of got rid of it and made it Spotify, which rips off artists still, but at least there's like a gatekeeper. YouTube is, first of all, there's been no challenge to it, to my knowledge. And second of all, just if I was one of these powerful entertainment companies, I would spend a lot more time cracking down on it than I have. I would, appeal to someone saying that, this is no different than exploiting my patent on something, or it's stealing.
Yeah, you need a team of lawyers to be ever vigilant. Prince was famous for that.
Yeah, well, I was saying that to Hardy yesterday.
Like the second he died, all of his stuff got released on YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah. In fact, I read about a Beastie Boys song from the Paul's Boutique era yesterday as Adam was talking his nonsense about the Beastie Boys. And then I found that there's a bunch of unreleased songs from Paul's Boutique, and one's called the Jerry Lewis. And it's this infamous, unreleased song. So I went on YouTube and I tried to find the Jerry Lewis, but the Jerry Lewis was not on there, which makes me think that somehow, you can't find the Jerry Lewis. So I don't know. It just surprises me that no one's made a big deal about it. Remember how much everyone freaked out about Napster? And, Metallica went nuts, and then the kid was on the cover of Time magazine, and then they ended up pulling the rug out from under him. I'm just surprised that YouTube just gets to run around unfettered.
So YouTube also has these things where I don't even think it's a person. I think there are, embedded codes within videos and songs and things, because this has happened when I've posted stuff before, videos that I've made for the station and for other shows, where months later they'll get flagged and automatically taken down. And if I've used 30 seconds of music from, like some old movie or something, this video has been flagged, your account has been frozen. And I think some of that stuff just gets triggered automatically, but there isn't somebody out there necessarily actively searching for it.
But you also said a key thing is, how long did it take?
Months.
Yeah, months. So it's already been up there for months.
Yeah.
So that doesn't do anyone any good. If someone releases a movie, bootlegs a movie, and releases it to everyone in the world, that's a bit of a problem for the person who's putting out the movie.
Now, I did find for you, Fred, on YouTube, a Beastie Boys, the Jerry Lewis / Rock Hard, live from a concert in Minnesota.
I saw it. It's not them really doing it.
Yeah, because it's also from 1985, and Paul's Boutique didn't come out to what, 89?
Yeah, and it's I don't want to see it live. I want to hear the studio version of it.
Yeah.
Because I can do the Smurf, the Popeye, and the Jerry Lewis in that song off of License to Ill. So I guess they have a song called the Jerry Lewis, which I'm looking forward to at some point hearing.
If it exists.
I think it exists. By the way, Mike D, very disturbing looking now.
I'm not sure what Muppet he looks like. It's kind of like the old granny thing.
Yeah.
The big chin.
A little bit like, was it Don Music, the piano player? He's got the long face.
Oh, no.
Glasses.
Music.
Yeah.
Where'd Nicholas go?
He's working on something for the bit in the 7 o'clock hour.
I had everything ready for the thing at 7, and then I thought of something else driving in, and I gave it to Nicholas. I said, "You spread your wings, young man. See if you can come up with a little secondary thing for this."
All right, because if you're trying to call in, there's no one answering the phones.
Is anyone trying to call in?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Ryan's got you.
Well, yeah. After I said it, it's been ringing for 2 minutes. It just annoys me when no one answers the phone, because it wouldn't happen at any other point, at any other time, at any other show.
Yeah,
This is the one show that in the history of radio, not just this incarnation, this show just has never had anyone answer the phones.
I called Bruce Williams' TalkNet once, and nobody picked up the phone, and I had questions about my 401k.
Oh, see, I'm Dave Ramsey all the way. They, when I was at WJR in Detroit, they played Laura Schlesinger that obviously wasn't out of Dr. Laura Schlesinger, which obviously wasn't even out of that studio, and they had someone answering the phone just to tell people that she wasn't broadcasting out of that studio.
That's power right there.
Yeah, they had a way you could call the Mitch Albom show during the day, and someone would answer the phone. Like there was There was an office with a staff.
Well,
and,
that was probably of the same era. That was what, mid-late 90s you were doing that?
late 90s.
Okay. Did at that time, 12 probably knows, did WBCN still have hired phone answerers?
What year is this that we were talking about?
That's 90.
Yes. When I started there, you just missed this, Hardy, because I started there in 2003.
Yeah.
You came in 2005.
End of 04,
beginning of 05. So I was there in February 2003. We still had 2 listener line volunteers that had been doing it for like 2 decades and were still showing up. I think one guy was Mondays, the other guy was Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people just got the phone rang so much and all the time, and you had to have someone there answering all the time.
Yeah. And so it's just odd to me that during this show, there's just no one answering the phone.
Well, why
does that happen during Felger and Maz? I would imagine it happens a lot. That no one. When you were on the midday show, was there just the phone would just ring and ring and ring?
I don't know. I was always in here.
Yeah. Because you couldn't see the phone.
You know what we could do? Just, workshopping this. Maybe we just start putting unscreened phone calls on the air.
That's a lot of fun usually. And then we could just.
How much delay do we have here again? 20 seconds?
After we screw with them for the first 3 that we screw with, then it just becomes incoming prank calls that we do. I mean, I like to take them, but I don't even think I can take them on the air anymore. I don't think I can answer this phone anymore, necessarily. I don't know. I can't hang people up from it. Dan, you're very controversial. It's very hard to get you on the air. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe that if you use music or videos from something licensed, that whatever money you make on the YouTube video goes to whoever wrote the song. But it doesn't work if someone has like 100 views and doesn't make any money. So they're still stealing it. But if like a big show with millions of followers use music, the band gets all the money from what they made from the show. So they cut down on that a lot.
Yeah, but also, let me tell you this, is that the money you make on YouTube is a very, very small percentage of the pie. YouTube gets the vast majority of it, so YouTube wins. Like, even, like, if I am HBO and I want Eastbound and Down only available from my streaming service, just because I get the percentage of the value that YouTube gives to the person, that's like fractions of pennies on the dollar. That's it's worthless. It's the damage it does is far greater. If it costs me basically one membership, one person subscribing to my service, then I've lost. You see these guys that are on YouTube, which is always what's so funny to me, is that if you could be on YouTube and you could get 2 million views a video, and that's not enough to like really live on. The percentages that you get for your videos, it's very difficult to make a living.
Yeah.
You got to incorporate, like, you got to be like Mr. Beast and like incorporate like tons of sponsors and like make your own businesses and stuff. Like, the amount of money you make per view is not a penny. You don't make a penny per view. You make, 0.001 pennies per view.
Well, what are you doing with your checks that you're getting from this show being on YouTube? The secondary checks that you get in the mail every month.
Those go to the station, but it's just almost funny that everyone's had to just fold and put their stuff on YouTube. I mean, the station has a website where you could conceivably have people go and you would get all the money, but that's not the case. No. It's just the Wild West. I wonder if this will ever get figured out, because they got AI to worry about now. So I wonder if that will be figured out. But every time I get down on the internet and what it's done, I see the Boom guys, the Costco guys.
Oh, thank God they exist.
And then I think that's why the internet's here. Yeah. And in my kids, I send them now. I bother them. I send them all day Costco guy videos, and I'll be like, I'm like, what do I do here? And they'll go, what do you do where? And I'll go, oh, I bring the boom. That's what I do. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Did you feel the ground shake yesterday?
I did not. So
They gave the boom.
okay, so
That's why the ground shakes.
when we were sitting in our post-show meeting yesterday, apparently that's when the earthquake took place. 10:22 a.m.
Something like that.
That's when we were still in our meeting at that
It's
time.
a 3.8 or a 4.1 off the coast of Maine.
Well, it got downgraded.
Oh, okay. It was a 4.1 for a while, and then it got downgraded.
It got downgraded.
Oh, that's too bad.
As I heard Beetle and Zoe talking about it, in the moments after it was downgraded, upon further review, the earthquake did not meet the necessary standards.
Some guy went out to the spot where it happened and like drilled down. How do you downgrade something like that?
For a 4.1. And, they
And
said,
who
no.
cares about a 4.1 to downgrade it? That's what I want to know.
Well, what are you saying? A 4.1 isn't impressive enough?
Apparently, I don't think it is. I didn't feel it. Neither did you.
Well, it wasn't a 4.1. That's the whole point, John.
I see.
It was if it were a 4.1, and I don't know. None of us have ever lived in earthquake country, but I think the what you feel for an earthquake increases exponentially. Like a 6.0 is not, let's say, 30% or 50% stronger than a 4.0. It feels much worse than that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. But a 4.1 is considered a minor earthquake at best. None of us felt it. We were all together in the other room. I was listening to Zoe and Beetle on the way home. They had more than one person call and said, my coffee almost fell off my table.
No, none of that's true. That's all.
Of course not.
No,
None
that's
of
all
true.
their brain in retrospect. Have you ever thought about what are the nicest places weather-wise to live in the country? If you had to pinpoint two
San
of them.
Diego.
Okay, and weather-wise,
Florida.
yeah. So, but what are those? But the hurricanes in Florida and the fires and the earthquakes in Southern California. What a price to pay! What a choice! You get that beautiful weather year-round, but then with it comes the wrath of God.
You got to go to Hawaii, man. And
Nothing
look,
ever happens there.
Well, they get some stuff every once in a while, but one of my college roommates, he lived there for a time. He got stationed there. He was ROTC. And
Richie and Potsy.
Yeah, like Richie and Potsy, exactly. And after he did his intelligence training, where he was not allowed to speak to any of us for a period of 6 months.
That's smart.
They gave us Freddie T. You son of a bitch.
That's why they called intelligence training. They didn't talk to you.
They let him go wherever he wanted. He said, I'll go Hawaii. And I talked to him not long after he moved there, and he bought a house, and his house had no central air and no furnace.
Huh.
I'm like, oh, man, he couldn't afford it. He said, nope, don't need either one. Gets a little warm, you open up all the windows and just let the breeze blow through. I said, what about bugs? He said, ain't got no bugs. No mosquitoes flying around, no need for AC, no need for heat.
But then he's Howley, and he's not respected on the North Shore.
Oh, no, he was from Kansas, so they had a lot of respect for him and what he brought to the island.
Yeah, I read some memoir about a guy that was like a drug guy in Hawaii, and like just and he was a white guy, and just the dialogue, like just... Like Howley, it's like that movie North Shore.
Yeah, with Turtle.
Yeah, exactly. You're very isolated out there, Hardy. I don't know if you would be so happy with a 6-hour flight anywhere you want to go.
That's why they eventually moved back to the mainland, because anytime they wanted to see anybody and go see like the grandparents or whatever, and it was it cost them $10,000.
That was Laquadera, man.
25 years ago.
That was Laquadera. Lived out there, couldn't stand to be away from his family.
Yeah,
Did he move back?
Yeah, he did.
When?
In California. Oh, it was a while ago. Right after COVID.
Oh. But okay, so he only spent 20 years out there.
Well, I'm saying he missed his family, so he moved out. That's what we were talking about.
I got screwed. Yep, I was there as long as Laquadera, and they didn't give me anything.
Laquadera bought land on Maui.
Yeah,
and sold it to
Oprah Winfrey.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment with everything that happened yesterday.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. If you've noticed, I have to, because of my sickness, I'm turning my mic way up and speaking at a lower register. I'm not straining my voice.
Smart.
It's very smart, John.
Very smart.
That's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan. All right. Last night, John was embedded with the television as the Boston Celtics were playing basketball.
Well, credit to my friend John Wallach over here, who texted me about 6:45 last night and said something to the effect of, "Oh, can you believe what David Ortiz just said on TGL?" I said, "Whoops, forgot it was on again." So before John was immersed in Boston Celtics, the indoor golf league was happening. Don't worry, we'll get to a lot of that later.
Thank you for reminding him that it was on.
Well, you know what? Forgive me, but a 6:30 Monday start is not exactly prime time.
Yeah, they kind of buried it. Yeah, I think it's almost as if ESPN saw the opening broadcast and went, I don't think 8 o'clock is right for this.
Well, they've had more than the opening now. They've had a few, and maybe they figured the problem with the draw was it was on too late. 8 o'clock is just too late.
Maybe get that out of the way before prime time starts.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we'll probably not get to that later. But, yes, after John finished up watching that, he started watching them Celtics last night. And there's a couple of names I want you to remember. This is from early on in the game.
Inbound comes to Drew Holiday. Steps to the left elbow. Bounce pass in the pocket for Cornette, coming strong around Şengün. Lays it up and in. 6 straight for the Celtics, and they're off to a 9-2 start. They had not been getting off to good starts at home.
Now, Cornette refers to Luke Cornette. Now, he plays for the Celtics. Remember that name. He's going to factor in later on in this game, as is that Şengün character. But here's another guy that we'll need to remember, and I wish the Celtics would have remembered him.
Cornette missed that layup. It's the only shot the Celtics have missed in 8 tries. Jalen Green hounded by Tatum. Kick out Van Vliet. Goes left wing Dillon Brooks against Cornette. Cornette hand down, so Dillon Brooks takes the 3 and hits it. A couple of threes for Dillon Brooks here in the early going, 17-12.
Let's talk about Dillon Brooks here. Now, the Celtics were still up at this point, 17-12, but Dillon Brooks has a shot that line drives at the rim. It is absolutely amazing to watch that shot just barely clear the front iron and fall. But that's what he was doing last night. Is that something that you're used to seeing, Wallach?
Dillon Brooks is an average three-point shooter. I think he's better at it this year than he has been in the past, but he's not Steph Curry from out there.
Well, last night he was 10 of 15 from three-point range. And
that 10 ties a Houston franchise record, by the way.
Yeah, and I read that he had 80 going into the game. So he had 80 for the season, and then he had 10 last night.
Yes, led all scorers with 36 points in the Celtics-Rockets game last night. But the Celtics were in control of this one. Tatum, who did not have a good first half, started to show up in the second.
Houston up by 6. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 77-71. Tatum trying to get one of them back. Does.
I wouldn't have shot a 3 if they had a gun on me then. I just didn't have that kind of confidence after I missed that many.
Yeah.
But you say Tatum didn't have a good first half. Tatum didn't score in the first half.
Tatum
looked like he didn't play basketball for about 6 months in the first half.
Washburn says that Udoka knows how to defend him, and that they were coming after him, and that they did it again in the fourth quarter.
Well, maybe he's going to have to reach out to Michael Jordan like Ant-Man did and figure out why.
That is weird, the whole thing. It's very strange. He's
heard about that,
had a
didn't you,
real
Fred?
weird year.
No, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to deal with these double teams, so he apparently put a call into Michael Jordan. It's like, hey, what do you do when guys cover you?
Just sit back and let it happen.
Of all the people to call. Double team. Help. Okay. This is what you do when two guys come at
You
you.
mean to tell me you've never been double teamed before? No.
Never in my-
no one even knew I was in the league until
Never
this
in
year.
my life have I seen two people guard me at once. Jesus.
All right, so Tatum showed up. You know who else showed up? This little dirt dog.
Inbound to Pritchard. Pritchard, nasty step back here on Jalen Green. He sticks another three. Pritchard says some big ones tonight. He is 5 of 5 from 3.
Yep.
Why don't you smoke on that one for a few minutes, Freddie T? 5 for 5 on his three-pointers. But as I said, you had to remember a couple of names. One of them, this Dylan Brooks fella. As the Celtics had a 12-point lead well into the fourth quarter.
Quick outlet, Dylan Brooks. Now here comes Amen Thompson. Slowed down by Jaylen Brown. Return to Dylan Brooks. Left side three. Got it. 10th of the game for Dylan Brooks. Houston has the lead.
Oh. What happened to your 12-point lead?
Well, you give up 13 straight points, you fall behind usually when that happens. Yeah.
There were some issues in coverage as well.
Celtics have one timeout remaining. Boston also has a foul to give. Van Vliet, inbound. Şengün gets past Cornette, in for the easy dunk. Rockets take the lead.
Told you to remember that Cornette fella there who got caught on a, I don't even know if it was a mismatch, Wallach, or if he was just out of position.
No, it wasn't a mismatch. He just, for some reason, chased Alperen Şengün out to the three-point line off an inbounds, and he wasn't going to set a screen for anybody. He was just running out there to go back towards the basket, where he's far more effective. And Luke was not ready for that.
Indeed.
That was not good.
So, tie game, few seconds left. Once again, Rockets trying to inbound the ball and get something to go here.
They hand to Van Vliet, and here we go. Tie game, 4 seconds to go. Inbound, Thompson drives strong, step back on Jalen. Jumper's good with 0.7 to go. Celtics do not have a timeout.
They do not, and they did not get a good final shot off. They did inbound the ball to Pritchard, who heaved one up from about three-quarter court. It did not go, and the Celtics fall 114-112 to the Houston Rockets.
They look confused on that last play, too.
Well,
the Celtics knew what was coming and decided at the last millisecond, all right, Cornette, you're going to switch off your man quickly, Jaylen Brown, but they were in the middle of switching when they inbounded the basketball.
And also,
that gave him the room to get that shot off.
Well, Missoula said it was a mismatch anyway, and that that they had attempted to take away Green, Van Fleet, and someone else for the entire game, and that made Brooks and Thompson dominate. And Washburn says this is not an isolated thing. That Missoula's defensive strategy is to take away three guys, and he did. He took away those three guys and then let percentages play out. But
Dylan Brooks had an out-of-body experience.
Well, but he's an NBA player, and the point that Washburn's making that Missoula kind of copped to is that maybe that's not the best strategy. That if you go and take away three guys at the expense of leaving two others alone, those guys are NBA players, and the chances of them wilting it's not like a high school game.
Well, you said let the percentages play out. I mean, Dylan Brooks had never had a night like that.
But Dylan Brooks? But that doesn't tell the story. See, that has Dylan Brooks ever had a night like he's been ignored that night? Like, has Dylan Brooks ever had a matchup? Been that opportunistic with matchups? Is he usually defended way better? I mean, is it that Dylan Brooks isn't good enough to play that well, or that he usually is defended better?
I think as an NBA head coach, you have to pick your poison on most nights.
Okay,
you have to figure out what you can live with and what you can't live with. Fred VanVleet's a very good basketball player, and the Celtics held him down last night. And I
so
think if
Washburn
Joe
gives
Mazzulla,
okay. Well, you're just gonna repeat what you just said.
Well, you live with it. And that's what happened.
All right, John. Jesus Christ! You know what? My throat doesn't feel good.
Okay.
So he says, yes, you just stated the obvious. But what Washburn says, is Caleb Martin, Keegan Murray, Kevin Porter Jr., and DeJounte Murray are other players this season that this has failed with, this strategy. So the point that Washburn's making is that here are the Celtics that have been very average for a stretch of time now. and this idea that they're employing defensively may not be the way to go. That's what he's saying. And you disagree with that?
Yes, I do. I disagree with that. I already stated my case. It's not going to change. You have Gary Washburn, and you have your point of view.
No, it's not. It's Gary Washburn's point of view.
Okay,
It's not my point of view.
Gary Washburn, I respectfully disagree. I think as an NBA head coach, you can't guard everybody. NBA players are far too good in general now, skill-wise, shooting the basketball. Somebody's going to be open. You have to figure out which guys you want to leave open. You have to pinpoint which of the more dangerous guys, do your best to take them away, and live with the results. And last night, Dillon Brooks had a career night. Amen Thompson, who had a triple-double against Cleveland last weekend and is one of those up-and-coming, he's top 5 pick in the recent NBA draft. He's playing well, but not that well. 33 points is a career high for him. Dillon Brooks hit 10 threes. Houston won by 2.
But, John, the argument you're making is not logical. Washburn's, I don't know what happened, but Washburn's argument is more logical. Is that you're saying that these guys just both happen to have career nights. And Washburn's saying, well, if you watch the game, there's a reason for that. Is that they were ignored. And at the expense of the team winning. That if you gave a top 5 pick that kind of leeway, he's going to have a career night. And if you leave a guy wide open who's an NBA player, he's going to have that kind of night.
I think in the second half, Dillon Brooks had more contested shots, but he was so hot from the first half, he kept making them. I don't think they ignored Dillon Brooks in the second half.
Oh,
Thompson had one of those nights. Thompson is playing exceptionally well. He's playing the best basketball of his young career right now. And that was part of the problem, too. But despite all of that, the Celtics still should have won the game. You're up 12 late in the fourth quarter, and you still should have won the game. And that speaks to a larger issue, regardless of what the defensive coverages are.
And defensively,
the Celtics are able to turn it on. You saw it. They were down for most of the game, and all of a sudden you're up 12, and then they stopped. They stopped playing, and Houston came back. Houston is a top 4 seed. I haven't looked in the last week or two, but Houston, I think, is a top 4 seed in the West. They're a good team.
More often.
Defensively,
I don't like that you didn't look in the last week or two.
You wonder how much
they're the 2nd seed. Stupid.
You wonder how much they miss Horford on a night like that too.
Yeah.
Where defensively,
less Luke Cornett, more Al Horford. Won the game.
Would Al Horford be able to guard Amen Thompson, as we're forced to pronounce it
on a switch? Probably better than Luke Cornett. Yes.
Yeah, better than Luke Cornett. But isn't Thompson a freak?
He is, but I don't think Horford would have made those 2 defensive mistakes at the end of the game.
Okay.
All right, let's.
I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. Okay,
so
I don't know.
Let's hear 2 things from Joe Mazzulla. One of them is what I'm told is an awkward exchange with B-Rob.
Ooh,
I'm here
the robot versus the robot.
I'm here for the awkwardness.
Does not compute back and forth.
What was the situation with Al Horford tonight? You know, he was originally in the starting 5, then was a last-minute scratch. Something happened? Was he?
What did the injury report say?
He was questionable before the game, and then we were told he was available.
Yeah, he wasn't able to go tonight.
Is that due to was there an injury there?
I mean, I think it's what did the injury report say? What was he questionable with?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think he wasn't able to go.
All right. Every time the Celtics sit Al Horford out on one night of a back-to-back, that's the injury they point at. He's always listed with a toe injury.
He's always got a toe.
This time he was listed as a toe injury, then listed as available, and right before the game, he was in the starting lineup. He was pulled out of there about 10 or 15 minutes prior to tip. Something different happened last night, so B-Rob was right.
And Mazzulla didn't remember what was in the injury report?
Of course not.
Okay. No, seriously.
Why would he?
I don't know if it's a case of that or if it's him just being fresh with B-Rob saying, did you see the injury report? What did the injury report say? Like all the information that you're trying to get out of me was put into that BS injury report. And I'm not going to say anything differently than that. Or it could be, I don't know what we put down in order to give the big man a rest. So why don't you refresh my memory? And that's what I'll say.
I was hoping that someone would oil him up afterward. Open up to the B-Rob's the back of the panel in his back and give some oil in there. Like they did to C-3PO.
Very quickly, what about trying to stop Brooks and Thompson last night, their coach?
Just the ones that you give up. I think in the first half it was the Amen Thompson transition points. I mean, he obviously a high-level talent, so he's going to get some, but we can keep him out of transition and do our best to keep him off the glass. With the Brooks one, it's tough, because I thought we did a good job on Şengün and Green and Van Vliet, the three guys that really get them going, and, he was a difference maker for them. So he hit some contested ones, and, it wasn't like that we didn't adjust to them. He just hit some contested ones, but it's the ones that you can try to take away with the transition and the offensive rebounds.
So it all amounts to that 2-point loss last night to the Rockets, who have been playing well.
Yeah, this is a bigger problem. The Celtics still should have won. This is part of the bigger problem they've been suffering from the last month and a half or 2 months. They have great stretches, but they don't sustain it and wind up losing to teams that are playing their NBA Finals game, like Houston was last night.
All right. Well, there you have it. Very controversial loss. When we come back, lots of more things going on in the world of sports. Here are the headlines. any kind of
Appreciation
for anyone.
Yeah, that's what is often said about you. You
Yeah,
know what?
I
Freddie's
know.
is a real prickly prick 99% of the time, but he appreciates everyone.
Yep.
People know I appreciate him. That's what they say.
Scal, right after the game last night, had this commentary.
His first win against his former team. Another outer body experience.
I'm sorry, did he just say an outer body experience? I'm pretty sure he did.
Not a fan of hyperbole.
Another outer body experience.
Okay.
I think someone said something in the background that distracted him. You ruined this. What did the kid in the background say? Hang on.
Another outer body experience.
Yeah, he did. You ruined this. Oh, maybe he was yelling at Ime when Ime was walking
Yeah, no,
off.
that kid was yelling at Ime.
His former team. Another outer body experience.
Did he say you ruined the Celtics?
It sounds like the kid was pissed. You know, Ime Udoka's first year takes him to the finals and then has that problem and has to leave, and then there's chaos.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
I still.
Against his former team. Another outer body.
Well, if he's saying he ruined the Celtics, he stole that directly from the Rick Pitino phone call.
That's right.
That's right.
And to that, I'll say I've become part of the zeitgeist here in town.
I stand by that. I was there that day. I was very pleased with you that day.
Look,
Very happy.
I would not subject you or anyone else to the TGL, even though the Boston
Why?
Golf was playing last night.
Now, what is the TGL? Does it have a Benedict Arnold in it?
TGL Benedict Arnold.
Does it have some a-hole that poses as your friend and then turns around and stabs you in the back?
No.
A certain Irish named gentleman?
Oh, Keegan Bradley? Yeah, that guy?
Yeah, some dick that pretends to be your friend and does the golf show a couple times, but then turns around and promotes his Red Hot branded golf to someone else.
Yeah, he was on the other morning show yesterday.
Yeah, while we're all sitting here, we have to get the news that while he's, this guy listens to the station all the time. He's doing all this stuff, Keegan Bradley, the professional golfer. And just when his fame is at the highest and he's got the biggest thing going on, he turns around and goes to another morning show to promote it.
Because this is huge.
To be fair, maybe they called him.
He still should say no. It's like,
They should.
or at least ask for your permission.
That would have, just etiquette-wise, that would have been the nice thing to do. But again, I wouldn't even necessarily be talking about it because I know you boys like to make sport of me when it comes to
not when it comes
golf and TGL.
Not just when it's golf, not when it's the indoor golf.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
The
this
fake
we're all
golf.
in on.
The fake
Yeah,
golf.
fake golf.
Well, there's nothing.
putt.
Hey, they're hitting those balls into those screens, and it's big enough to where they started this thing at 6:30 last night on ESPN, and they had some special guests there. And much to my surprise, I pointed at the screen while I was watching it, and I said to my wife, "Do you know who that is?" She said, "Yeah, it's Drake May." I'm like, whoa, look who pays attention to things.
Look at that.
How about that?
You can make it to that, but not the press conference from Vrabel.
Yeah.
With TGL, we have a shot clock in golf for the first time. You're a guy that knows the pressure of the play clock. When you're going up to the line of scrimmage and it's running down, what is that added pressure?
Yeah, it's a little more quiet in here. I think the fans get a little rowdy in football, so they got a little heartbeat going for the play clock. Usually I can't hear myself thinking on the football field, so it's pretty cool, but pretty similar.
Yeah, genius. It's a little bit different in my profession.
It's harder.
I don't know. Is it that much quieter in there than, say, Gillette Stadium in the second half of last season? It seems about the same.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound like your father's golf. That sounds like
It's not.
there's rock and roll music and like a crowd noise and just people having a blast.
You have watched it because there's music going on and people are drinking and they're whooping and a hollering.
Yeah, this is
personalities who play this game electric. It's really something.
With a little tip of the cap to Billy Madison or to Happy Gilmore rather. This is the everyman's game, simulator golf.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, if you want the everyman and you want the man who's going to bring everyone together, you got to bring in another Boston sports icon, David Ortiz. And they asked him some really good questions last night.
What makes Hall of Famers great?
Dedication, discipline.
This guy was on a heater. This
Steroids.
reporter. He was great.
Steroids, cocaine,
How
hookers.
you great? He great.
What makes
Him
you
great.
What makes you awesome? This guy was fantastic. This
Well,
reporter.
I mean, that's if you're gonna get an indoor golf guy. I mean, you got to go. It's like you get Tom Brady to do the NFL. You get this guy for the indoor golf.
You really need the video to do this particular interview justice.
I'd prefer a little more like Edward R. Murrow type. I want, a real journalist on this.
Did you? My son and I, when we were in Detroit, after at the garbage time of one of the football games, put on ESPN2, and they had competitive. What's the pogo sticking?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Where they have little boxes and stuff you
Hell
can go
yeah.
off of. Some of the guys I don't think tried.
Oh.
But yeah, they had and the guy who was doing the competitive pogo stick, the expert, was better than the guy that was doing this.
What makes Hall of Famers great?
Dedication, discipline, the focus is something that separate you from average athlete. You know what I'm saying? And
What happened when you got shot? What was all going on there? Is what he wanted to ask.
Who did they think you really were? Or did they get the right person?
Yeah.
David had one more thing.
Boston is the city of champion, man. I mean, everybody expecting us to come through. You have great athletes coming to the city. It's a city that supports sport better than any other city. And when you come to Boston, you got to bring it.
Yeah,
baby.
This is in Florida, where the hometown Jupiter team had to go to overtime against Boston Common Golf.
Oh.
Go.
It's not going to get there. And Jupiter Golf Links wins the match.
I hit it into the net faster and better than you did.
No, that was the closest to the pin, jackass.
Oh, sorry.
You had turned it off and started watching basketball by then. Overtime is not into the net anymore. It's onto the actual green, up closest to the pin.
Oh, I see.
Well, finally,
Two-tiered green, John.
what sport do you think will go to Jupiter next? I got to assume
cornhole.
Pole dance.
It's more of a Midwest thing.
Okay.
No, pole dancing is solidly in the Bay
golf?
Area.
I can see frisbee golf. I can see that.
No, it's too much water.
Too much wind.
Yeah, too much wind. You gotta. That's a prairie game.
They could do indoor frisbee golf.
Perfect.
There you go.
I think we're onto something here.
And it's good that they put the indoor golf in Jupiter, where they could be playing outside.
I know what I'm playing in Boston.
Or in a city where you normally couldn't play golf.
Where there are more people that might actually go.
Right.
Thank you, Fred. And ironic that the indoor golf was delayed a year because the building where they constructed the indoor golf was so badly damaged by a storm that they had to rebuild.
Oh, that's too bad.
A lot of it.
Well, I mean, that was
They only delayed it a year.
I think that's why it's not more popular, is that delay.
Yeah.
When we come back, a bunch of coaches were announced with their teams yesterday, and that meant owners and everyone else talked. We'll have it for you in just a moment.
Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, try to keep the play alive. Falling down, he throws to the end zone. It's caught. He got it. Touchdown.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Amen Thompson's floater in the lane with 0.7 of a second left handed Houston a come-from-behind 114-112 win over the Celtics at TD Garden last night. Jaylen Brown scored 28 points for the Green, but his team let a double-digit lead get away in the fourth quarter.
We got to be better down the stretch and execute. Tonight wasn't the best example of that, so something we got to look at for sure.
Thompson scored a career-high 33 points. Dillon Brooks added 36 while making 10 threes. The Celtics will host Chicago tomorrow night. Former Celtic guard Isaiah Thomas is going to turn 36 years old next month. Yesterday, he signed a contract to play for the Utah Jazz G League team. The Bruins will be in Buffalo tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm were full participants at practice yesterday, but neither of them will play this evening. New Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel continues to add to his staff. Yesterday, he hired former Jacksonville and Buffalo head coach Doug Marrone to coach the offensive line, and former Chicago assistant and interim head coach Thomas Brown as his tight ends coach and passing game coordinator. And Detroit will reportedly hire Denver passing game coordinator Johnny Morton as their new offensive coordinator. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMoore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University. You'll do more than just keep pace with the future, you'll define it. Connect with them at an admissions event at northeastern.edu/business events. I'm John Wallach on Boston Hill for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Some people play the game.
Jaylen Brown. Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's
it.
welcome to the Sports Hub Celtics show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtics show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub. You said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I'm really good with X's and O's, but I'm great with people. And the type of men that we have in this locker room are excited about that.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube live, and you can talk to one another in any way you see fit, in an uncensored manner. And if you subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub, you can get clips of all the shows, watch Joe live at night, have our entire show 24 hours a day, all those things. So go ahead and do that. All right, Hardy, what's going on?
A bunch of coaches speaking yesterday, and one owner, too, in particular. Just heard there from Brian Schottenheimer, who is going to be your new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But who cares what he has to say? I mean, we're here for what the owner and general manager has to say. That, of course, is Jerry Jones. Jerry, how about this hire?
It might be couched as a less than glamorous hire. What I would say to you is I got here taking shots. Good things have happened.
Of Wild Turkey and of Johnny Walker
Shots
Blue.
of what?
Human targets. Human prey. I have a new one in my sights.
And it ain't Jim Beam. I already took care of that before this little chin wag we're having here this morning.
Is I got here taking shots. Good things have happened. Let me tell you something. There's some stuff to be had over there where not many people go. There is. Don't think for 1 minute I won't take a shot.
Okay.
That's a, I mean,
huge risk.
It goes back to his oil days.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to the oil. The untapped resources.
So, is there a point during yesterday's press conference where Jerry Jones showed his age a little bit? I think maybe this clip, you could argue he does.
I've seen it when I was a pup.
Yeah.
Seen what?
He's a furry.
I have a good background.
Oh, you said to push one out.
Whoa.
Excuse me, I just filled my bag.
Let's hear the first 11 seconds of this again.
I've seen it when I was a pup. I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is.
Yeah, I wonder how long this man has until. I heard someone on ESPN say, "Is this the last coach he's ever going to hire?"
I was just going to say, this is a man who is rolling downhill and picking up speed. This is heading toward the finish line quickly.
Yeah, he had and what was that like high pitched squeal? Turn down the music. Listen to this.
It sounded like birds.
It sounded like a bird.
I don't think, but are they outside? No. That's not a bird. There's not a. I mean, they're not. It's not ambient noise outside. They don't have an outside mic. They're inside.
He's squeezing something here. Folks, what you just heard there was my last fart. Everyone's got their last bowel movement. That was my last one.
I just had rectal surgery to tighten things up. And now I'm tighter than I was when I came out the womb.
They're going to call me old snare drum from now on. Tight. Taut.
I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is. To think that you could make a decision in an interview and not have talked, if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, many people.
Okay.
Or had a visit.
Papa?
Yeah.
We're all done.
Yeah,
Come on.
Shotty's here now.
Come on.
Yeah.
He's here. He's right over there.
This sounds like if my mom was on stage. Freddie, I have something. Freddie, I have to. Yes, I'm sitting here. I have to ask you something, Freddie. Yeah. It's exactly what my mom does. Freddie?
I mean, there's not a lot of time left.
I think this might make something special. So I'm all behind. To say the very least, I'm all in here.
Yeah, you are. You better be all in. This is the last guy.
Yeah, I'm you know what deep.
There's a very low percentage.
She's Linda Lovelace in this hire.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
Okay.
That's from before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Threw that one in
That's an oldie, but a goodie.
Yeah. Threw that one in there. That's good. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. He's been thinking about this for a long time.
When I was a pup.
That's right. Okay. All right. More coaches talking.
Well, no, but then Jerry Jones said how this was an out-of-the-box hire.
Yeah.
And that he was taking a huge chance.
He didn't do that at all with Jason Garrett 15 years ago.
No, but beyond that, I don't know if that's what you want to tell the team and your fan base is that, by the way, I'm taking a huge chance here with this hire.
Oh, yeah. This has nothing to do with comfort.
If you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you could take. As big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience.
Yeah, this is the antithesis of what these are supposed to do. He's a lunatic. He might as well be arguing with the newspaper.
There were no other hires like this one.
He watches, he listens. No, he listens to sports talk radio. This is what all these guys do, and I'm not making it up. Ask any writer; they're not on it. They listen to sports talk radio. They get all riled up. Arthur Blank does it. They all do it, and they get in there. The Crafts at least are aware of what's said.
Oh, they are sent. If they're not listening, they are sent what is being said.
Right,
Oh,
and
sure.
so what Jerry Jones does, you've heard him on the local sports talk radio. He gets all upset at them. He listens to them, and then he takes mental notes of what they said about him, and then he sits there at the press conference, and despite the interest of the team or the fan base or anybody, he's just answering imaginary questions in his head.
Yes. Yeah, he's got a bit of Randolph Duke in him in Trading Places, arguing with the newspaper. Wrong, quite wrong, untrue.
Right, like instead of going, I really believe in this hire. He's a brilliant guy. If you've ever been around him, Dak Prescott loves him. I mean, Dak Prescott's here in the front row, with a big smile on his face. He says, "Oh, this is an unconventional hire that was way out of my comfort zone. This guy's got no experience.
This is as big a risk.
He's a real loser.
Take as big a risk.
It's like a
as
dinner
you
for
could take.
schmucks.
No head coaching experience."
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Cowboy fans, have faith.
That's right.
I hired someone with almost no qualifications. This is really dangerous what I'm doing here. Like the guy who fixed your car, he's never even seen a car before.
And the setup had to have been something, very innocuous, almost like a softball question, Jerry.
I don't think that was a question.
No. Maybe someone said something to the effect of, why are you just staying with, people that people in-house? Why are you doing it this way? Is it because you're just comfortable? Another way to answer it would have been, well, yeah, I am comfortable with him, but he's supremely qualified to do this. He said, how dare you say I'm comfortable? I'm just going to argue against anything you say. This isn't comfortable. I'm nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Was he necessarily responding to a question there? I'm not even positive he was responding to a question. I think those might have been his prepared statements.
Could be. It could be just that maybe there were no questions.
Yeah, I think he's up there arguing with sports talk radio.
Oh, guys that he thinks he can fire, but he actually can't.
Man, when he called into the Dallas station and said, "I might as well just fire you."
Yeah, I'll get some new people to do this.
Yeah.
How you gonna do that? We're owned by Odyssey.
Well, it's not like he couldn't. I don't doubt he could get him fired.
Yeah.
That made him feel good.
Who do you want to hear from? You want to hear from your new head coach of your New York Jets there, Freddie T?
Well, yeah, you can play because I heard something interesting, a email that the guy on before us, so what's his face, read. Go ahead.
Oh, Ben Maller?
Sure.
Okay.
There are going to be some challenges, but with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
That is Aaron Glenn, the new head coach of the New York Jets.
And that's not true. They're not built for anything except for losing. But
what about the attitude? It worked for Rex Ryan.
Someone emailed Ben Maller and they said that he's copying Dan Campbell.
Oh.
It was their takeaway from it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And to that I would say, I think we're a little early in the Dan Campbell process to start saying that there are people imitating him. I mean, Aaron Glenn played and has scouted and coached. He's been in football his entire life.
Yeah, he's probably developed his own persona and coaching style by now, even if he hasn't been a head coach.
Yeah, it's not like he was a young graduate assistant, getting coffee for guys. Like he has been he was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I think that Aaron Glenn's probably got his own personality. I could see where you'd be coming from with that, but I believe that's Aaron Glenn's real personality. And he wanted the Jets job, and that's really, for a garbage organization like that if you have a real candidate, that's the only job they want is your job, or not the only job, but the job they want before anyone else was that Jet job, you got to hire him, and that's why they hired him. It's sad because they're a pro sports franchise and people should want it, but if you are looking to build that brand and go against, the last 30 years of it, this is what you got to do.
What about that roster, Coach Glenn?
We're looking forward to that process. I can't tell you how long that process will be, but the thing is, we're going to make sure we get the right answer. And we're not going to rush to this answer. We're going to get the right answer.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to keep Roger.
No, well, he's talking to him.
Here's what I do know. Aaron Rodgers will be talked about. It will be talked about. We've already texted that communication with Aaron Rodgers. And as we continue to look at the roster, we'll make decisions accordingly.
They haven't had a coach like this, by the way, the media in New York with the Jets media I can't remember. Parcells that is going to be combative with them. They haven't had one. And so this is going to be interesting how it's handled. Because they walked all over all the other guys. Like Saleh, like they just walked all over him.
What was it like with Rex Ryan, what I just brought up?
He was like fun and, just he was boisterous and said things, but he was like fun and nice.
But
like,
they didn't you say walk all over I don't remember.
They could make sport of him. Like, and then when things went south, they took shots. But like Aaron Glenn is gonna Aaron Glenn's gonna yell at him and stuff.
Yeah, if it goes south with Aaron Glenn, and history tells you it will go south, then that will be interesting.
I'm just interested.
Morning.
I'm just interested how it's going to be just before, there's even opportunity for it to go south, because he's going to be combative with them. Not like Belichick. I don't think he's going to be like that, but he's going to be like that. And they kept asking him over and over again. He's like, "You're not going to get me." Mm-hmm. Like, I just told you about Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to get me. And the guys who cover the Jets were like, "Wow, this guy's like different." And then they said he won his press conference, FWIW, for what it's worth.
I got you.
Yeah.
Two more coaches talking yesterday. There was Liam Cohen, who had this to say down in
He
Jacksonville.
was a great songwriter from the Brill Building.
With the Hucklebuck.
Give me a C, a bouncy C.
Liam Cohen had this to say.
Duval.
Okay. Yeah, that's like Adam Gase's first press conference. That's the equivalent of the eyes.
Holy crap.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is not good. Duval.
Duval.
Yep. Shad Khan threw how much money at that guy? Gave him full control?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Hey, Liam, they had to fire that GM before you take the job, right?
Did this have anything to do with the change in the front office structure?
This was completely about an opportunity to work for an owner and a group of people that needed some help. And that's what coaching is, right? That's what coaching is all about. So, no, that was not the factor.
Liar. Lie.
Yeah, you just lied. Like, you absolutely just lied. Wow. What is everyone an idiot? You turned the job down, they fired the general manager, and then you immediately took the job. The two didn't correlate at all. That's nonsense. Well, good. Now you've started off live. And what is this Duval nonsense?
That's the county where Jacksonville is.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's the college in Jacksonville where they say Duval? I don't know. That's where the first I heard it.
I thought they were talking about the golfer who lost all his nerve.
David Duval. Well, you know what he did, Fred, was he got a little bit too in shape. He started building his body up, and he hit the driver further, but he didn't know where it was going. He was spraying it all over the place. He couldn't tell you what zip code that thing was landing in.
Well, I like that you're having fun with it. All right, look, we don't have a lot of time. There is a
we'll get to Pete Carroll later.
There's a special treat for everybody, and Hardy was talking about something that's in his neighborhood. We can set that up, but then we have not since John, many years ago, played us a couple tunes. Have we had live instrumentation quite to this level in studio? We will
I've heard
have
that before.
Huh?
I heard live instruments in here before.
Not like this.
Okay.
Not used in this way. This is old time radio that we're doing.
All right.
All right, we will be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports.
equipment inside. In his neighborhood, he puts his hands in his pockets and kicks at the ground when there's construction workers or painters or someone doing anything manual. And then also he will, almost to his own annoyance, he'll see that his neighbor's up early in the morning or late at night watching TV. What's he doing?
Yeah.
He's, peering through the window. And then he'll question the guy when he comes out. He'll be like, hey, this is true, too. Yeah. Like, what were you doing at 4 a.m? Why were you watching TV?
Yes.
But now...
Oh, and by the way, I found out yesterday. This was great. Got some information sent my way. Name of the guy who plows my street?
Yeah.
Tim. I didn't know the name of the plow guy. But I was told not only, hey, heard you're looking for the name of your plow guy. His name is Tim. He's a great guy. And I can tell you, I'm sure he is. He does a great job plowing. And that bank of snow at the end of the street, the kids on the street, they love playing on that thing. They're up there, climbing it ever since the snow came down. I myself, a couple days ago, went down there with the dog for a little play date, the house next door to that big snowbank. I may have chucked a few snowballs at those little rapscallions.
You threw snowballs at the kids?
I threw snowballs at the kids in a playful way, kind of underhand lob some snow. And then and then the little rascals started firing ice balls back at me, and I had to say, all right, that's enough.
Who saw that coming? Kids have snowballs thrown at them. They would throw snowballs back.
Ice balls, John.
Oh, sorry. Ice balls. Right.
They're going to light your house on fire.
They didn't like it when I would catch it with one hand, though, and immediately whip it back at them sidearm.
Yeah.
They didn't hit me
I thought
once.
you only did it underhanded.
Once they started throwing the ice balls at me, then it got serious.
Then it didn't get playful.
No.
Well, they didn't hit him once.
I caught him.
Yeah.
And threw him back.
I mean, those kids can't throw very fast. I mean, what did they think? They were going to hit you?
With the ice balls, though. Anyway.
A guy who plays pickleball on the reg?
That's right.
I mean, his eye-hand coordination's at an all-time high.
Thank you.
Very, very elusive.
All right, so Hardy, he knows what's going down in his neighborhood. He lives on a cul-de-sac. He knows what's going on. But now there's your eyes and your senses can only take you so far. Now there is a way to keep track of what people have, what they giveth and taketh away.
And let me tell you something. This is not just available to me or to people in my town. This is everywhere. And it is a wonderful service that allows you to list things not only that you would like to sell to your neighbors, but things that might be absolutely free of charge.
In a time of ever-expanding global commerce, one remnant of small-town America has endured. A tradition among neighbors that proves the only true currency is kindness. And to be free, one must give of oneself. But alas, there are times when actual legal tender must be exchanged for goods and services. It is with this in mind that we now engage in the ultimate utopian test. Live free or buy.
Live free or buy.
Is that AI?
No, that's my British friend, Kenny.
Wow.
That's really good.
All right, well, listen, it's not time to get into the actual game. I do want to hear about what this is, though. So how did you come about this thing?
I signed up for one of these apps. I was asked to join some neighborhood group by one of my neighbors, and I said, of course, that's what I'm here for. So I signed up for this thing, immediately realized I'd made a mistake with the notifications, the emails, everything that comes along with the signing up for this service, because I get inundated every day with things from this particular website, and most of it is stuff that is for free. Hey, hey neighbors.
Why did they want you to join this website? Like, why did they want you to get this app?
I don't know.
So how is there pressure in your neighborhood to do things? Like, how do they get to you?
They just ask.
Right. So
oftentimes they don't have to ask. I still feel pressured to do things.
Would you know, John, if this was in your neighborhood?
No, I would not.
I got a text from one of my neighbors.
See, but Hardy's closer to his neighbors than you or I are, so there might be something going on.
Adam, are you close to your neighbors?
Some of them, yeah, because I've been in the same neighborhood for like almost 25 years. So, yeah, the ones that have been around for a while. Sure.
It's a tent city, so I understand.
That's right.
All right, so
Ashram.
So wait a second. So because I wonder if John and I are the only ones. Like, I don't know anyone in my neighborhood.
I know the people who live right across the street from me, but not someone who lives up the block.
Yeah, so like I know that there are neighborhood message boards, but the last thing in the world I want to do is be on that. I don't want anything to do with that.
This is a message board and so much more. I mean, it's not just for the street, though. It's for the town, and it incorporates other towns in the area. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
So why did your neighbor text you this?
I guess they thought it was a source of, like, good information, and it's a way for people to... Like, for instance, if there's like a weird sound or something that someone sees somewhere, someone will post it on this neighborhood app. Hey, did anybody notice that fallen tree on the sidewalk on Pleasant Street near so-and-so? You know, is anyone going to grab that? Now, I don't know why they wouldn't just call the town and have that done, but, you know, it's more of like a neighborly chit-chat. Things going on.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that could go sideways at all.
Hey, who's been riding them motorbikes, you know, up and down Washington Street, 2 o'clock in the morning? It's like, yeah, I'd like to know, too.
Yeah, and then everyone starts complaining and pointing fingers and going crazy. Like, you know what these things devolve into. My mom even said with the old people...
strength in community? No, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
You know, tell it where my parents live is like 6,000 homes, right? And my mom said there's some crazy-ass message board that these old people get on. And if she said she's never met anyone really in Tellico Village that wasn't like overly nice, but this message board or whatever the hell it is just like, they're like psychos, like, you know, F you, like swearing at people and like threatening them and stuff. Like when you remove that face-to-face interaction or even that any kind of personal connection,
yeah,
people are apt to get very, very accusatory and very, very threatening. If I mean, I don't know if you've ever been on Twitter or something like that. They
occasionally, yeah.
People tend to, when you remove that intimacy from conversation and communication, it tends to turn into, I would imagine, a witch hunt sometimes too.
There may be some conversations that get a little uncomfortable every once in a while.
Or very passive-aggressive, as if, like...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the passive-aggressiveness, I would imagine, be the worst. Like, somebody is not, after trash day, is not picking up the trash that fell out of the trash can, and it is spraying all over the neighborhood and leaving quite a mess. Yes, I've seen that, too. I wonder who could be so disrespectful. Next one. Yeah, imagine that garbage leaving garbage out. Yes, I heard that she has sex with the mailman.
Right,
you see how it devolves into something?
And there's, you know, some hints thrown in there. It's like, imagine having that big of a party for a 4-year-old and then stuffing the can so full that the trash spills out onto the street. Oh, I know who is doing it.
Right. You know, I chose not to spoil my children, and one's a doctor now. So, I mean, you know, judge if you must.
So join the family. Join the app. Accept the invitation.
Next door.
Dump right into it.
Now, are you on it a lot?
Again, I got to fix the settings because I'm on it so much because I get so many alerts. But the free things do interest me.
Okay,
I do like to see what's available for free.
We're going to get to the free stuff, but I do have a question. Sure. If there was something like, if you mentioned it, a tree down on a road.
Yeah.
And you saw something that said, hey, is anyone going to do it? You mentioned this. This is the example you gave. It was kind of weird, but I'm going to play with it. Hardy said you could get something, for instance, like if a tree was down in a road, if anyone was going to take care of it. And then you said, why wouldn't they call the town? Because obviously that's not anyone's job to remove the tree.
Call the DPW, they'll come and remove it.
But Hardy, if you heard there was like a code red, you know, there was, you know, there was a tree down, or there were a lot of branches blocking something of that nature, or there was a pile of snow that was blocking the kids' route to school. Oh. No, and what would you do? Would you go out and investigate?
Well, not if I were here at work.
But... No. But if you were at home, would you go out and investigate it?
Yeah, I'm out patrolling anyway. So I got my flashlight and my pit helmet, and I'm out there looking for stuff. So if I don't see it on my own, if I were to see something like that pop up and it were within a reasonable distance, of course I'm going to go check it out.
How many times have you been out of the house walking the dog in quotations, which is just his way of spying?
Right.
And starting conversations with people that he wants to talk to because he lets his dog loose in the yard. Like whenever like the mailman or the UPS guy or the trash guy.
They like to see her.
Yeah, everyone just loves everyone else's dogs. And that's why you do it. And so
let me tell you something. If tomorrow when Joey picks up the trash barrel, if Scout is not outside, he will take the trash barrel, roll it back into the driveway, and leave treats on top of the barrel for her so that she can have them later. You tell me that he feels obligated, or is that something?
And
he
then two
wants
doors
to
down,
do?
he just takes a dump on the doorway every other Tuesday. How often have you, or have you ever? I don't even know if you've done it once. Have you been out walking the dog, seen something that needed to be taken care of, gone back to your house to get the proper tools to handle the job, and then gone back out to the site?
The most recent occurrence of this was when I found like a very small shell casing from some kind of a firearm out on the sidewalk. So I had my phone with me. I took a picture of it.
Oh, you told me this, yeah. That's awesome.
But I also took a video of me picking it up. I had to go back to the house and get a pen. I took a video of myself picking it up with a pen and then put it on a piece of cardboard with a yellow Post-it note.
To keep the integrity of the forensic evidence.
Came to CSI.
I texted it to a buddy of mine who's a cop. I'm like, I don't know when you want to come pick this up, or should I just bring it down?
He took a video of it so people would know he did not tamper with it.
Yeah.
Like, if they were really doing an investigation, wouldn't you leave the bullet casing where it was and so they could like
integrity of the crime scene, yeah.
Yeah, the integrity of the crime scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do cops leave evidence laying on the street forever, or is at some point does some point a qualified person take the evidence and photograph the scene?
Fair enough. That's
what I did.
You have a good point. That is fair. Manny, go ahead.
I got a question for Hardy. Hardy said he has like a 3-foot mag light in his truck. When you were patrolling, do you have a high vis vest on and maybe a hard hat on the side right there? First
of all, I went away from the 3-cell mag light. I now go with the Olight Seeker 2 Pro.
Okay.
I do have a vest that I will put on if I'm walking the dog at high res. No, it's matte black. Of course, it's high res. And I also have a hat that Adam 12 gave me for Christmas that's got a light on the front of it.
Hard hat?
No,
he can't get away with that.
I'm working on reinforcements for it, though.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right, take it easy. There you go. Everyone loves what Hardy's up to. But anyway, so as Hardy was alluding to, there is this part of the site that is stuff either for sale or for free. And Hardy has a list of that. But when Hardy brought this up in the meeting yesterday, of course, it need not be said that Adam 12 got very excited. What is this thing? There's free things. What can I do? A lot of this probably could be recycled more than just for his own interest. All of this is not financial gain from Adam. A lot of this is improving the earth. Like that's it. He doesn't pick up trash to keep it.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Bam.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like it's not always an economic concern why he reuses things. It's more of an environmental concern. I mean, there's a bit of both. But we were kicking around things, and since Adam is so interested in this, he's not so much going to play the game as he's going to be the game. So, Adam, you don't waste a second. You get in here and get ready. Because when we come back, we're going to play that game that we announced.
Live free or buy.
There you have it. All right, caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to see Nine Inch Nails this August at the TD Garden. Tickets on sale tomorrow at noon. Visit Ticketmaster.com for more details. Here are the headlines.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Hardy is on his neighborhood app. That his neighborhood, the people couldn't stop bothering him. He was texted once to join it, and on it they have things for sale and for free, which has excited our own Adam 12. So Adam is going to respond to these. John and I are going to guess, but Adam is going to express himself via his instrument of choice. He's not going to express himself with words. He's going to express himself through music. This is art. I mean, Adam can always express himself just through the English language. Sometimes it needs to be expressed through the brass instrument, the trombone.
That's right.
Now, you played trombone for how long?
I've played trombone since I was 12 years old. I started playing in middle school, played at the award-winning Wakefield High School Jazz Band.
Did you wear a cape?
I did not. I did, however, attend Berklee College of Music's 5-week summer program as a high school junior.
That was really Math Fest.
And was also the reason I went to Northeastern is because they offered me a music scholarship.
When you go into Guitar Center, do you know everyone because you went to a Berklee College of Music
No,
camp?
there's a big division between the brass players and the guitar players.
Yeah, because the brass players go on to big things.
Yes,
now,
huge nerds.
Now, when you, as opposed to the guitar players, they're super cool.
Right on.
Yeah, those are the coolest.
Exactly.
I would probably side with there's more to do with the brass instrument.
You're a ska fan too, so you would tend to lean that way.
Well, I mean, those are all dorks, but yeah. I mean, but listen, I am a fan of it. And you still play?
I do, yes. I play in a jazz combo called the Standard Deviants. I think I told the story on the air. I was picking my kid up from hanging out at their friend's house, and I heard jazz music being played in the living room, and I kind of poked my head in and I said, "You guys sound great. You need a horn player?" And they said, "Yes, we do." So I joined the band.
John, these kids take chances. I mean, Hardy and Adam are out there sticking their nose into people's business and making friends.
Now I got new friends.
All right, so you're going to give us an item, Hardy.
Yes.
And then we're going to guess if it's free, being given away for free, or if there's a price on it.
Okay. That is correct.
And then, Adam, you just improvise in the back your feelings on if it's free or for sale.
And, Hardy, you'll need to throw in a right or a wrong buzzer before I do, because I need a little bit of time depending on if it's right or wrong.
Adam needs time. Have you cleaned out the spit valve?
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
All right, Nick, can you get us
he didn't even think of that. Do you notice that I'd be a good conductor?
Who's the musician of the two of you?
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
He hasn't even cleaned out the spit valve.
Nick has something to get us into this.
Why don't we do that song about the people in your neighborhood?
Well, I'd rather not, actually.
Oh, well, who's giving away crap in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. Or who's trying to sell crap in your neighborhood? It's time for Live Free or Buy.
Live free or buy. I'll give you the item. You tell me if this is something listed for free or if it's something listed for sale on a neighborhood app. We'll start with bag o' wires and remote control. It is a brown paper bag. You can see listed there, Fred. Written in hand. Phone, coaxial, RCA wire, remote controls. Bag o' wires and remote controls. Is this free or for sale?
Just real quick, because we don't. If I wanted to get this, would I have to go to the house and pick it up?
Yes, you would have to go 12.9 miles from where I am to some place called Elliott Street.
So if you had that, would you want the person that wanted that stuff to pick it up, even in your home?
Oh, they're zip tied together very nicely.
By the way, they zip tied them together and took individual pictures of all the crap.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't they just throw it away?
Right.
Or let it just sit in your basement or wherever?
Because
I mean, I can't imagine there's much of a price on that.
It could be of use to somebody. What do you think?
Free.
Fred?
Free.
That is correct. Yeah, go ahead, 12.
Can I get a right ding and kill the music, please?
Jesus Christ. You want wanted the trombone. Give me a fight.
Needed to warm up a bit. I think I'm good now.
That's only the first one. He's warming up. He's going to be fine.
Wait till you get one wrong.
He's all right.
I'm not encouraging well, no, it's not if it's right or wrong, Adam. It's if you like it, and that was free, so you liked it.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to do a right or wrong buzzer. I just want you to express yourself through your trombone.
Okay, that's fine.
Large decorative shells, 4-piece set, polished set, approximately 4.5 by 8 inches, from Relatives Collection. You can pick it up in Brookline.
Oh, well, if it's in Brookline, it ain't free.
No, we're
that ain't
purchasing
for
that.
free.
You're buying that.
Correct. $12.
Now we're cooking. There you go.
You had a plunger for that one. Adam didn't care for the...
he was the thing? I didn't
Adam didn't care for the price of that.
No. You'll have to go to Howe's Neck for this next item, but it is a...
What the hell's Howe's Neck?
It's a town.
Okay.
Neck.
All right. I've never heard of it. Neither has John, who grew up here.
PUR water filter pitcher. I don't know if PUR...
Pure water. Yeah, pure water.
I've seen those.
All right. It is just the...
It is umlauts.
It's just the water filter pitcher. Someone's got one. Is that...
An old water filter pitcher that Lord knows if they've put urine and excrement or battery acid in it. Well, I can't imagine that costs money.
They're getting free, yeah.
Incorrect.
How much are they charging for that?
$10, please.
Oh. $10 for that?
Oh, my God.
How about this one? We're going to South Brookline for a bag of Wegmans bread flour. I have a photo of it. Photographed. It appears to be on a couch, and it is...
Is it opened?
Enriched unbleached flour for better rising in breads and rolls. My partner and I used a small amount for a holiday cookie gifts, but are gluten-free and thus cannot use the rest of it.
All right, so you said Brookline, but then you said partner. Now, this could go either way.
It's a 5-pound bag.
If they're gay guys, there's no way they're charging for it.
It's little under 5 pounds. I had to use a little bit for the Christmas cookies.
But I don't think they're a gay couple because it's Christmas cookies and they are listing flour.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it is in Brookline, so I'm going to go with my instincts and think old people in Brookline that just say partnership.
It says South Brookline, if that makes a difference.
I don't know what South Brookline would mean.
Neither do I, but you live there, so I figured you would.
I have no idea. It's like South Detroit. I don't know what that means either. All right, I'm going to say that costs money.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely free. You can go pick up that Wegmans bread flour 5-pound just under bag right now, no charge.
Charge.
Thank you.
You asked for it.
Very good. Go ahead.
Salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah.
Japanese boy and girl ceramic. Salt and S&P shakers.
Good.
Also.
What's S&P?
There's also a sea captain and
what's
whale
the S mean?
Salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, you don't just give those away. I mean, those have to be, I mean, they're from Japan.
Correct. $7 and $14 respectively. We now have up for bid or for free a Topica.
What?
Medication for dogs.
It's an animal.
Oh, man, it's great.
Medication is pretty expensive.
Right.
I had to give my pups 75 milligrams of these every day.
Now it's dead. And I'll tell you this, is that this might be what the guy at the dog part asked me if I had on me when my dog hurt its leg.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, well, do you have blah, blah, blah?
Oh, this is an allergy medication.
Okay. Well, that don't come for free.
No,
this was expensive, but maybe he's an animal lover.
No,
I'm gonna say it's free.
No, I'm saying you have to purchase it.
Fred, you're absolutely right.
Whoa.
Absolutely free.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't like that? That was free.
Nah, giving away meds online is just weird.
All right, Adam, but I mean, you don't always have to eat tree bark and moldy bread to get your penicillin.
One more.
Well, wait, only one?
Oh.
All right, Adam, really interact with this one. This is going to make it all worthwhile that you brought it in.
It's the big finale.
Homemade empanadas.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Delicious homemade empanadas in a foil tray. There they are. There's the photo.
That's insane. So they made food, or it's leftover food.
I don't know. They're homemade empanadas, and they're, according to the description, delicious.
They wouldn't take those at a homeless shelter, by the way.
I don't know if the foil tray comes with it, though. You'll have to.
You might have to
negotiate that
wash
on
it
your
and
own.
bring it back, as any good neighbor would.
That's free.
Fred?
Free. If those would have cost money, Adam, how would you? What would you have thought?
Oh,
now,
well,
don't say it with words. If those would have cost money, what would you have thought?
Live free.
I never realized how hard the trombone is to play. There's so many unusual movements that are required. Adam, what do you think about people that drink plastic water out of plastic bottles? Yo, you like it?
No, that was a no. That was a negative.
Well, that sounded happy to me.
That was a tempo. He said no.
Here's what I think about going into break late.
I'm confused if that's negative or positive. All right, very good. Andrew Callahan is here. He'll join us for the next hour.
Was it very good?
More Dutcher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Super Bowl 59.
Sports Hub, Amen Thompson handed the Rockets a 114-112 win at TD Garden last night. He finished with a career-high 33 points for the winners. Dillon Brooks added a game-high 36. Celtics have tonight off. They'll host Chicago tomorrow night. In other NBA news, Isaiah Thomas back in the league again, sort of. He has signed a contract to play for the G League team affiliated with the Utah Jazz. The Bruins will be in Buffalo tonight to play the Sabres. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The team got good news yesterday at practice. Both Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm practiced fully together for the first time in a long time, but neither man will play this evening. And new Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel continues to assemble his staff. Yesterday, he hired former Jacksonville and Buffalo head coach Doug Marrone to coach the offensive line, and former Chicago offensive coordinator and interim head coach Thomas Brown as his tight ends coach and passing game coordinator. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the chicken and sausage Al Forno, available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach at Boston Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Make something special. So I'm all behind. To say the very least, I'm all in here.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Andrew Callahan is the Patriots reporter and a columnist for the Boston Herald. He's in studio. Hello, Andrew Callahan.
Morning, Fred. I have a couple things for Hardy here.
Yeah?
Whoa. Number one, I caught a little bit of the previous hour on my drive in.
Yeah.
And have you thought about in these patrols a radar gun?
Are you concerned with how fast people are driving?
Or
constantly.
Okay.
But to what end? What do I do? What do I do with the information?
You just enjoy the power of it. You just sit in the corner. Anyone who sees the radar gun out the window, just I gotta slow down.
No, even better. Who patrols your sector? What cop patrols your sector of Canton?
Okay, so
what's his name?
You're flirting with the whole impersonating a peace officer thing there that not entirely comfortable with. I'm a little comfortable with it.
You got guys who could bail you out.
I'm a little comfortable with it, but pulled over to the side of the road, pointing some kind of a radar-looking device out the window. Tricky.
Are you concerned with how fast people go in the neighborhood? Like, does that bother you?
Well, yeah, because there's one street that I cross, or somebody in my family does every day walking when we go to walk the dog, and people do have a tendency to drive a little too fast on that street. Yeah.
So I've done this before. That's the reason I bring it up.
You've done this.
Years ago, had a member of my family pass away. He was a cop, and so my dad, going through his belongings, the relatives, found an old radar gun, wasn't working. And so in the months after, would take me out, and we would sit in what was then his Dodge Caravan on this road that had a big bend, and it was about 45 miles an hour in this giant dirt parking lot.
Not a cop-looking car, by the way.
Didn't matter, though. That's the point. You could sit in almost anything. And the sight of that radar gun, granted, at least in 2005, 2006, this was actually 89. We talked about this. One of your ex-girlfriends lived around this area where I grew up.
Okay. Yes.
No one else needed to know that. But the point is, it worked. The sight of the radar gun, working or not, whatever car you're in, tinted windows or not, this was a soccer mom minivan.
Why'd you do that?
Because it was fun. I was like 15.
It was a few Halloweens ago.
Wait. So this was like mischief?
Yeah, it's like middle of the day. Just you want to go out and see if people will slow down as we get the radar gun out the window.
He grew up in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut. This was what they did for fun.
But yeah, we did a bunch of stupid crap for fun, but it was at least destructive. Like this,
it was at least harmful to small animals.
Yeah, like this was considered a prank.
It wasn't a prank. It was.
We used to skateboard down a hill at cars. We would just skate at them, just skate and see, and it was chicken. We'd play chicken with cars.
Oh, this explains a lot now.
Like you guys did too. Like I mean, we started playing Ding Dong Ditch, and then that got boring. So then we started hiding in the bushes in front of the house. Then that got boring. Then we started just standing there, And then that got boring. And then we started lighting stuff on fire and leaving it there, and that got boring.
We did.
And then we started throwing eggs at people, and that got boring. Like we just everything just got more and more and more and more and more.
We did the ding dong ditch right up until Idolo Stefani's father came out and chased us, and he was a scary guy.
Oh.
So we didn't do it after that.
He sounds mustachioed, like big, muscly, mustachioed man.
Yeah, he was the only dad in the neighborhood who played soccer and was fit.
Oh, so he could catch you.
Oh, yeah.
That was the big issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he chased you, and if you think he would have found you, what would he have done? Or if he would have caught you?
He did catch us, and he yelled at us in Italian. So we didn't even know what we were being called, but something tells me it wasn't good.
Could have been worse. Could have been German.
For you ringing his doorbell, he got so upset that he chased you and ran you down.
Yes.
Interesting.
We were in the ditch in front of Jeff Watson's house when he found us.
That's the thing. If somebody's crazy enough to chase you after that, you have to worry about the man's mental health.
Yeah. Because that's a recipe that could go either way. Either that stops it, or you've just sparked a flame, my friend.
Every kid in the neighborhood will do that.
Yeah, because now if you know the guy's crazy and will start chasing after you, now you see like what you can get away with.
Yeah.
Then you got to pull him out from the house instead of ding dong ditch. You got teams of two. Chases one team, the other one leaves something on the doorstep while he's chasing your buddies.
Oh, yeah. You light something on fire and leave it there.
Do you guys
or you blow up his
later?
mailbox.
Want to go find him?
No.
Probably can't catch you now.
I don't think I'd try him.
Not Fred if he's not as fast as a golf cart.
Oh no, I'm faster than golf cart. All right, so that was the prank though. Is you would sit in the caravan?
Yeah, it was more like grief bonding. Like, what are you gonna do the first month or two after a death in the family? We're like, all right, we'll go have some fun, screw around, and I'm telling you, it worked.
So you're bringing it back to get sympathy for your lame stunt.
It was a couple of Halloweens ago. We went over to a friend's house, and it was cold, so Marcy didn't bring a jacket, and someone said, "Oh, so-and-so is here. He's got his coat in the car," and he was, let's just say, a law enforcement officer and had like a heavy,
let's just say,
coat in there. I don't want to.
Hardy hangs out with these people.
I don't.
They're good friends.
I don't want to say for what municipality or if he was a state worker or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, that would compromise him.
Yeah.
Two of the moms who had a couple of glasses of Halloween wine while the kids were out in the neighborhood took turns putting on the coat and the cop hat and standing on the sidewalk, and anyone they deemed that was going too fast, they just stood there and put their hands down like this. And you should have seen these people lock up the brakes when they thought there was a cop standing there telling them to slow down because there were kids in the neighborhood.
No one wants a ticket.
Nope.
That's less. Second thing I had for you. Do you know the name of the new Lions offensive coordinator?
John Morton?
Johnny Morton, he was a receiver.
Yeah.
I think he went to high school with you.
Avondale?
Auburn Hills.
What year did he graduate?
So he's 55.
So he was older than you by a couple of years. Makes sense.
You would know if you went to high school with Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton was an NFL receiver.
No, different guy.
Oh, it's a different guy?
Not Johnny, just regular John.
John Morton.
Up. Yeah.
Oh, so Johnny Morton, the new offensive coordinator for the Lions, is not Johnny Morton, the receiver?
Not the Chiefs receiver, no.
What are the odds of that? Seriously.
I'll tell you something.
The guy that played for the Lions, it's not Johnny Morton?
Not that Johnny Morton?
No.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
What happened to that guy?
At least I'm not in an island.
What happened to that? I completely
Oh, come on. That is
You're
an
not
offense.
seeing how strange that is?
An offensive coordinator with the same name as a guy that played wide receiver for the Lions.
You think that's more unusual than Hardy's favorite team having an offensive coordinator and went to high school with him the same year? I think we skipped over the real rare fact here.
Okay, well, he would have graduated at least 2 years ahead of me. I'm going to investigate this.
And Hardy was doing magic and stuff.
Was it a big high school?
He was busy.
No. So chances are, if I go back and check yearbooks, if he was there, I might know who he was. But
he was busy playing football and stuff. Hardy was at Detroit Public Library. He was honing his juggling and magic skills.
Ding dong ditching his Italian neighbors.
John Morton also recruited T-Bone's brother to play at the University of San Diego. So there's the potential two connections I have to the new OC there for the Lions.
So there you go.
How about that?
Oh, I didn't know Tebow's brother was a D1 athlete.
He was.
Wow, how about that? All right, so speaking of coaching staffs, fill us in. Thomas Brown and Doug Marrone are now on this coaching staff. I know who Doug Marrone is because he's a old head coach. But what does this mean, and what are their positions?
So Doug Marrone, I believe he's going to work with the offensive line. Last I checked, that title had not been finalized. But you look at his background, you look at what he did with the Saints for 2 years before he got to BC and as a head coach and all these different places. He's an offensive line expert.
Hello.
And so for Thomas Brown, that I can tell you, he will be the tight ends coach and pass game coordinator from someone I talked to yesterday. This is a guy who was a tight ends coach for Sean McVay, who gave him then a promotion going 4 or 5 years back to assistant head coach. And he's primarily had a running backs coaching background, then goes to McVay, then gets, as everyone does, standing next to Sean, an offensive coordinator job. Carolina, then Chicago, promoted to interim head coach. So this is a fast riser through the ranks. I don't think they suddenly added 2 wins with these 2 additions, but this is great news for a staff that, like, the last 5-6 years, how often have we been talking about brain drain? Guys leaving, and it's all on Bill, and you've got young assistants. And even last year, you clean house, bring a whole new offensive staff in, and you go, that might not be an upgrade from the one they had in 2023, the year before.
All right, so this, you think, speaks well of the Vrabel coaching staff and the brain trust that's going on in Foxborough.
He goes further than that. This is the best Patriots coaching staff since.
Well, so what I would say is we have to see how it all fits, right? Like, this is unusual for Josh McDaniels not to be able to handpick or have some influence on some of these hires, and I do think he's at least okayed it. That's my sense of this, not hard reporting. But the way you stack up the resumes and the versatility and the experience and the diversity of thought, which is also brand new here, come from different systems and backgrounds. I think this is the deepest staff they've had since their last Super Bowl team and has the potential to be the best when you had Brian Flores on one side, Josh McDaniels, and a bunch of future coordinators and big-time assistants. So, yes.
Wait, you just said Brian Flores.
Right. So since Brian Flores was on staff, I think this could be the best staff the Patriots have had since then.
So you're saying that this is a Super Bowl staff? You're saying that next year the Patriots will be in the Super Bowl, that there's so much brain.
I think we locked this in a couple weeks ago.
Nick, I want you to clip that.
I like where your head is at. I want him to say it, though. See, you're thinking that next year.
Well, I mean, we keep talking about dynasty with the Chiefs. Why not the Patriots starting next year for 10 years in a row?
I mean, thousands of views of this.
Mike, yeah, Nicholas, you got that. I mean, you put the trombone stuff up first. I mean, that's obviously what's going to get clicks.
I think we need a mashup, actually.
But the brain trust in this, with Josh McDaniels and the defensive coordinator and these guys have impressed you enough that you believe this is a Super Bowl caliber coaching staff.
No, I don't know what this is going to look like. Like, first thing I said, we have a lot to learn. We need to see how it all fits. You've got ego in here. The downside of having former head coaches on staff is everyone thinks they know what to do. Everyone knows that they answer to Mike Vrabel, but it will be interesting to see Josh McDaniels work with a very seasoned, experienced staff that hasn't just been in New England forever. Like Dante Scarnecchia and Ivan Fears, the longest tenured assistants Josh had, guys who are older than him, experts in their positions, were not former head coaches. Doug Marrone's a former head coach. Thomas Brown's been a coordinator twice and an interim head coach. These guys think they know what they know. And so I don't know how those disagreements will be inside the building, but I'll tell you this, guys, for the last 5 years, when we're all looking at this coaching staff being like, what kind of edge is being provided to the Patriots? There's an edge here now. They're going to be able to problem solve. Doug Marrone says, I saw this defense or this particular blitz in 2016 when we were in Jacksonville. This is the answer for it. Thomas Brown going, I'm the pass game coordinator. Here's a concept you guys probably haven't ran because it's either Josh McDaniels offense or that Alex Van Pelt blip. They'll have answers. They'll have experience. If they can kind of streamline the communication, be on the same page, this could be one of the best staffs in the league.
How much does he have a say in all of these people coming into work under him?
Yeah, it's a good question, John, because my understanding was they wanted to fill the coordinator positions and then let them kind of have a say in the assistants under them. And you look at Marrone and Thomas Brown, there's no connection to Josh McDaniels. But if the reporting, I think Bert has said this, that Josh and Mike Vrabel were on the same page going back a month or so, I can't believe that this was not run by him. Guys he'll have to work with hand in hand. So I think there's an upside to working with people who come from different systems, and I think Josh is now open to that in a way that says, yeah, I'm ready to go with Thomas Brown, Doug Marrone. Guys I know I can put in a room and trust that they'll not only just develop and coach, but they'll be able to run it in a way that I can just trust them and let them be.
All right. Well, there you go. We have Andrew Callahan in studio for longer, and I take it he has 2 stats in the line and everything else. We will be back in just a moment.
Chiefs are going to pull this off.
Bill's friend, a fan who's a friend of mine, texted me yesterday. He's like, do you think there are any of the people you know that cover the NFL saying McDermott's going to get fired? He was very up on McDermott being fired. There were a lot of positions where he was damned if he did and he's damned if he didn't. Like, if you don't, he's not aggressive if he doesn't go for it. If he, if he doesn't take points off the board and go for two, then he's going to get killed no matter what he does. But it was impressive how Kansas City was able to stop them because it came down to those fourth down plays. It was impressive how Kansas City was able to stop them. Do you think that there was we just went through the Patriots coaching staff and how impressed you are with it. Do you think coaching is what won Kansas City that game?
I do. I don't think, though, that means Sean McDermott should be fired. Like, when you lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, it's not a failure. It's not a crime. You're just everybody else right now. Because that's what happens when you play the Chiefs in the playoffs, unless your name is Tom Brady or Joe Burrow. But when you look at the fourth down, when Josh Allen had that heave, and, I wouldn't call it a drop. If you want to call it a drop, fine to Dalton Kincaid in fourth down. They were overloading the short side of the field, the boundary, the weak side. And that should have been a tip like something's up here with the blitz. I'm not saying I would have seen it had I been in Josh Allen's shoes, obviously. But when you watch the tape of someone who has played that team time and time again, A, it was a great call, but B, it was a miss by Josh that I think has been overlooked a little bit right now when we talk about this game.
So you think that he should have seen that pre-snap?
Yeah, there's no reason because they were in a 4-by-1 formation. So the four receivers were to his left, the wide side of the field, and then one in the boundary. And so the Chiefs had an atypical number of defenders over that single receiver in the boundary. And you go, well, the only reason you would do that is if you're blitzing from there. Lo and behold, here comes Trent McDuffie, and they overload that weak side of the formation, and you get a free rusher, and he has to make a play a little bit late. And it was both a great defensive call and I think something that you want to scream about Joe Brady or Sean McDermott. Something goes here to Josh Allen, too.
Yeah, we had Brian Hoyer on. He was, going crazy defending Josh McDaniels and how much he loves him, da-da-da-da-da. But, he did make the point, and I think that it gets lost when you hear people calling the radio shows and radio shows hosts and writers and everything else, is that there are players out there. So, how much do you think Brady knew before that play, like, oh, this is what they're doing, come on, Josh, like, get out of this, and oh, no, he didn't do it?
It's a great question because I don't even know the answer. And I know talking to players and coaches who watch opponents' film coming up, and you'll see clearly there was a coverage bust. But they're going, professional players and NFL coaches, I don't know what the coverage is because based on who screwed up would change what that picture looks like. So when we talk about these things Monday, Tuesday, even I come in here, film notes, ready to go. We recap the games we did all season. There are some things you can't know. I'll say this, though. I think just like other places in life, people that you like get the benefit of the doubt. Like Drake May surely had more mistakes than we gave him credit for or playing for this year. But you don't like Gerard Mayo because he sounds occasionally a little sloppy or someone who's not accountable at the podium. So he gets a little more heaping of crap in his direction. That's what I would say about this. Depends how the market feels about that roster and that coaching staff.
Do you think that they were too predictable, Buffalo, on short yardage? Because I do, yeah. Romo even made the call. They go left guard, and it seemed like Spagnuolo knew what was coming and that they could stop it. You think they were too predictable?
I do, but it wasn't like the call's predictable. Philly lines up for a tush push. You know what's coming. The idea is we only have to get 6 inches, foot and a half. Like, we're getting it. You can't.
Why are the Eagles better at it?
I think they're more practiced. I think they got a slightly better offensive line. And everyone's favorite fact about Jalen Hurts is he squats like 6,000 pounds.
Yeah, but I heard an interesting thing is that you would think that the size of Josh Allen would be a help to him because he's so big and he could just power through guys. But that Hurts is so much smaller than him that when he gets low, he's harder to find in that stuff. Like it's harder to push back against.
Yeah, better leverage, and same with Jason Kelce. Like he wasn't the biggest center alive, but he got better leverage, and that's all you need. Like low man wins is the saying in the trenches somewhere. I've never been or played or coached, but I hear things.
But Brady was so good at it, so isn't that odd?
Yeah. I think, look, it's a play where you say, you know what's coming, we're going to get there anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But when the results had been, you'd been stopped on that play a couple of times and go, oh, well, maybe this is just not our night. We need a plan B. It's not so much that you were predictable. It's that it wasn't effective enough to keep doing it again and again and again.
But people haven't been able to stop it this season. Like most teams, they're not able to stop it. What was Kansas City doing in your estimation that was so effective?
I think they just won in that split second at the snap. Like if you're not blocking and winning immediately to get the 6 inches and then allows Josh Allen to do so and clear a little bit more room, then it's all on him. And even if you're 6'6" and you got, as you're talking about, there's more surface area for the defenders to kind of come at, it doesn't really matter because the guy in front of you is about just as big, and then you've got this whole pylon. So I think it's just a matter of muscle and split second and timing. Like I don't think there's a magic solution here for it.
Did you know there was a rule if you get too many offsides?
I did that. Oh my God, glorious! It was what was it like? The palpably there's an official term for this in the rule book. Hasn't been used since the 40s. But if you're that much of a dick on the football field, they'll just give the opponent a touchdown. That's what it says. It was like palpably unfair act or rule.
Yeah, but that's a great rule because there was a time you would think, well, what would stop you just from doing this over and over and over and over again, like and just staying all day?
Yeah.
Like it's like if you just get out of the batter's box like whenever you wanted to, if you could just like walk out, like what would stop you just keep walking out like every time the guy was like in the middle of his windup?
I think they would have been better served in the moment had they actually cited the actual language of the rules as opposed to saying, if this behavior continues, we're just going to go ahead and give this team a touchdown. Like, all right, knock it off. Knock it off. Yeah.
I'm going to count to 3. If you're not back on side,
that's what
Frankie Louvu.
That's what it felt like. So they knew the rules. Someone should have just had – yeah, but don't say if this pattern of behavior persists or whatever it is. That sounds a little too
I'm just impressed there was a rule to stop it. Like because there was a point where I was like because it's of no consequence to the defense if you just keep doing it.
Well, and they're trying to find a benefit. You're talking about stepping out of a batter's box. That's to play some mental head games. Here, I talk about why did Kansas City stop the tush push and why didn't Washington? Kansas City won in that split second. That's what they were trying to do. The Commanders were just get a head start on this, jumping over the pile, jumping off sides, whatever they could, anticipating the snap count. It just never worked. Just imagine, though, had they actually given Washington the touchdown and that game was close or within the spread. Like, oh, boy.
I don't think Washington behaves that way if the game is closer.
Yes.
Like, I think that was, that's garbage time kind of, and that they're screwing around at that point. That they're just trying anything.
I don't know. I think because the downside is you lose another, inch and a half here. But the upside is if they false start anticipating this, they go back 5 yards.
No, I understand. Yeah. No, I understand why you do it, but if you said if they awarded the touchdown, like I don't think that it would have gotten to that point if the game was closer. I don't think that the Washington would have screwed around like that. I don't think he would have jumped over the center twice. I think he would have done it maybe once.
Maybe he just had so much fun. He's like, again?
Well, he seemed to be having fun the first time, but the second time he didn't seem to be having as much fun. And then he didn't do it again. So that's another thing is that if you know the rule and you're screwing around and the game's close, like you jump the pile, you jump the center twice in anticipation, and then you get a real. Then they hard count you and get you off sides for real, and they get awarded the touchdown. Yeah, then you would be like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was, that's why I think obviously if it was close, they wouldn't have been screwing around like that.
Where else would you want this palpably unfair act rule applied in life? Like if some woman pulls out a checkbook at the grocery store, I get to go ahead.
Well, you know I mean, old people in general, just walking around, getting
in. Seinfeld routine, right?
Yeah, I mean, there should be. Yeah,
that was a Seinfeld.
I thought you were gonna say like in sports, but
no, just in life. Like so you'd have a ref walk in, throw the flag. This is palpably unfair. Andrew Hardy is awarded whatever we want in that particular instance. A parking spot. It's like someone's being enough of a jerk.
I'll give you one.
Yeah.
If you hold the door for somebody at a restaurant, you're walking ahead of them, but you open the door and you allow them to come in. They go to the hostess stand before you do, and they get in line for their table before you. Like, hey, the only reason why you're in front of me is because I held the door for you.
Much better than my example.
I think if you're at the pharmacy counter and you ask you can see where I spend most of my time. If you ask the person at the register more than one question, then they throw a flag and they say that you've asked your questions.
Especially
this person doesn't know they're an hourly employee. Move along.
Especially at the compounding pharmacy where they're mixing together your horn a plenty of chemicals to.
Yeah, there's enough for them to do.
Yeah.
There's enough for them to find. Leave them all in one place. Why don't you? So what does this speak of? This might be our only chance to ask you. What does this speak of the legacy of the Kansas City Chiefs in relation to that of the Patriots?
So, I was chatting about this with Phil Perry yesterday, and the word I landed on, where I think we're all fair to say, pump the brakes on the Brady comparisons for Mahomes, pump the brakes on the dynasty comparisons. Even if the Chiefs win, they've got 4, the Patriots still have 6. The word I would use, though, that the Chiefs could claim, and I think fairly and rightfully so, is most dominant dynasty in NFL history. 3-peat, never been done before. 4 Super Bowl titles in 6 years, never been done before. 7 straight AFC Championship game appearances with a guy who's tracking, may not get there, to be the greatest coach, greatest quarterback ever, one of the greatest coaches, and maybe the greatest defensive coordinator ever.
If Andy Reid ends up getting the wins record, something that Bill Belichick cannot do, he might get the ACC record for most wins in North Carolina, which would be very exciting.
Most consecutive 500
Listen,
seasons.
if that team wins, it's going to be like Colorado, Deion's first year. If that team wins its first 3 games, everyone's going to orgasm. But if Andy Reid gets the all-time wins record, and you can track it, it's not out of the question by any means. As long as he stays healthy. You got to worry about Andy Reid.
Sure.
He's in all those State Farm commercials.
I also don't know if he wants to coach that long.
I don't think it would take a terribly long amount of time if you look at it. If you include postseason wins.
He's behind, I think, about 40 wins right now.
All right,
he's at 301 in
yeah, so he would
341.
need 3 to 4 seasons to do that.
I think that's doable, regardless of how old he is at this point.
You think he's going to retire with Mahomes as his quarterback?
As long as Mahomes is healthy.
There was some talk last year that he was contemplating. Sounds strong.
I heard Peter King go on about it for half an hour about how after the Super Bowl you went in, or after the AFC Championship game last year, you went into Peter King went into his office and blah blah blah.
That was the Belichick. Remember, Bill? Oh, Andy Reid might step aside. Bill could take over that and win. I remember that.
So there's one thing that separates them still right now, and they would just need more time in order to do this. Is the amount of time.
Whoa. But let me finish. If Andy Reid, I forgot that I was even asking a question. If Andy Reid breaks that all-time wins record, is he considered the best coach in NFL history?
I think so. Also, it's 46, so he would need probably 4 to 5 seasons.
4 to 5 seasons.
Okay. But the amount of time that the Patriots did it, they had to do it with, completely different personnel. From the start to finish, really 2 times over.
Definitely.
Has there been enough turnover with the Chiefs to kind of, say, oh, they've done it with a lot of different people too?
No.
But it's a different kind of coaching. Like if you blame coaching for the AFC Championship win or loss, then in-game coaching is the superior in-game coach would have a better short-term record too.
Out of all the things that you're going to check off, there's the number of wins, there's the number of, AFC appearances. It's just another thing. How many different ways did you do it? With how many different personnel groupings and stuff like that? That's going to be the one that I don't think, who knows? That Mahomes is only 29 years old, and Reid might coach for 5-6 more years. They could turn this roster over a couple of times, or at least one time completely.
Yeah, they'll have
say,
to.
Yeah, we did it with a whole.
Well, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce. That line hasn't been together. The receiving core hasn't been together this whole time.
Brand new. Yeah.
They're over the course of how many years? How many AFC championships?
We do underestimate how much they've turned over, but to Hardy's point, there's a difference between a 5-year span where the roster changes and then 15 years, which is what the Patriots did and had just as much success in the bookends of that dynasty. The one thing I will give the Chiefs credit for, because I'll give you 2 things. One, Andy Reid specific. He is, like Belichick was in the NFL, a ruthless pragmatist. The only rule is it has to work. I'll try anything. He's been stealing concepts from college forever. He's adaptable. You don't say that about a lot of coaches his age. That's what partly makes him successful. The number 2 thing is this is a defensive team. Like you remember 2018, 2019, Mahomes' first and second season starting. The only way they won was by scoring 38 or more. This has been a defensive team the last couple of years. To win that way requires better drafting. Trent McDuffie's up there. Their linebackers, Nick Bolton's really good. Leo Chenal. They've got a lot of players there and shifted the way that they win and they play, and that's a credit to them.
Yeah. And it does speak to in-game coaching. Is all I'm saying is that if you have that much success that many years in a row, it means that you were the superior in-game coach. And there's the talent of developing and scheming, but then there's the talent in-game. There's all those one-win games. I mean, they've had so many one-score games. So one-score wins this season. All right, we'll come back with our big two stats and a lie
Quick
segment.
question first. This is related. Was anyone curious why I knew where Hardy went to high school?
No.
We have a Toucher and Hardy edition of Two Stats and a Lie.
Oh.
Wow. Wow, this is very exciting. All right, let's have that. Here are the headlines.
Between this and the trombone, best show ever.
I mean, seriously. All right, here we go.
Sports Hub.
It's in a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
Hey, we're Dutcher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And now that that's out of the way, the professional introduction, bring in the real one.
Let's do this. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you can get it right. It takes two steps from the other night. And one might see if you can get it right.
I still don't know what he says in that second line. In one line,
one lie to see if you can get it right.
One lie, see if you can get it right.
One lie, see if you can get it right.
Yes.
Oh, one lie, comma, see if you can get it right.
Yes.
Like knock on, never had to.
In parentheses,
knock on wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
We figured that one out.
Yeah, well, you figured it out. I didn't. All right. Here we go. The great Andrew Callahan from the Herald is here, and he always puts a lot of thought into this. I've been fairly dominant in this game after I figured out my brain deficiency, why I couldn't figure out the game.
That was truly one of the better weeks he's been on the show, was that day.
Once you crawled over that mental hurdle, and it was a struggle.
It was a struggle.
It was interesting to watch in real time.
And it in real life worried me. Like I was like, what? It didn't worry me so much as interest me. I was like, what's wrong with my brain?
That was a 2-week stretch.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting stat of Fred's record before and after.
Oh, yeah.
He got the second leg over the bar.
It's funny you ask.
Come on.
No
I
way.
don't.
Oh.
You know what I do have, though? And this is a bonus. This does not count. You know, one of you has 2 LinkedIn profiles.
Well, it's not me because I don't have one.
I don't think it's me.
It's got to be me then. I didn't know if I have 2?
Fred, it's you.
Whoa!
One has 2 followers. The other one has 1. One specifies radio announcer for Beasley Media Group. The other one is for CBS. Both located in Boston.
Neither one of them I made.
I have 1. I know that.
I might have made one because I wanted to see. And the girl knows. There's a girl that I dated where I made a LinkedIn account so I could see what was doing, and then I didn't know.
You made a burner LinkedIn?
No, I made it with my name. No, so there is one. I didn't know if it would show up.
Well, there are 2.
Here's how. Well, I didn't make a second one. Here's how. Dude, I did not make the CBS one. I would have made the Beasley one. But here's why I'm so dumb. I didn't know you could find it. But I also, she's like, the girl goes, "Did you look me up on LinkedIn?" And I'm like, I'm thinking, I can't. Like, there's a. How would she know this?
There's no good answer. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, how do you know that? And she's like, dude, it shows that when someone looks at your profile. And I went, oh, that's good to know. So I made it so I could go. And then I ended up like seeing her, so it wasn't a big deal. We'd already gone out.
Yeah.
I wasn't spying on anyone.
Of course not.
It was a cute little thing.
Yeah.
It was a cute little thing. I don't think it's over the line to go look at someone's LinkedIn account after you've gone out with them.
No.
How many times did you see her after that, though?
A bunch. Like our
good.
relationship progressed after that. It's no longer going, but it progressed after that. I haven't had anything end terribly badly. Like everything's been kind of civil, I think. All right, go ahead. Let's go. Let's get to it.
All right, number 1, John Wallach has been broadcasting Bryant basketball games since the George W. Bush administration.
Oh no. Oh boy.
John Wallach
that's not true.
has been broadcasting Bryant basketball games since the George W. Bush administration.
Okay, so that would have been starting in January of 2001.
So
all the way,
years.
all the way up to January of 2009. So did he start broadcasting Bryant basketball as early as 2008, early 2009?
Are we doing?
That's true because that is absolutely true because he's been doing Brian since 2009. I was working with him.
Okay, so we're both agreeing that one's true.
Good job, Hardy.
Yeah.
Good job on the back end, because I would have said very sad if he was doing it before. But because I think he was doing it before I met him. Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
go ahead.
Do you want to say in this since we're doing a group effort this time around?
It is true. Well, I mean, we can.
It's up to you guys.
Wait till the end. We'll
just wait till the end.
Okay.
When it involves us, we'll wait till the end. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 2. In an endorsement for Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, Hardy once said of Fred, "Listeners know Fred is not exactly the warmest or nicest person, but..." And then he continued with the endorsement. Hardy said of Fred, "Listeners know Fred is not exactly the warmest or nicest person, but... ...
That sounds exactly like something.
There
Hardy
wasn't a
would
lot
say.
of stuff for Hardy to mine, apparently.
Yeah.
For him to mine about.
It continues. He could not say enough good things about his experience with Dr. Leonard and his decision to seek a hair transplant procedure, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
Number 2. Number 3. Awful Announcing has written more articles about Fred than Jim Gray.
Oh,
God.
I like that one the best.
Oh, God.
Of Let's Go fame. Awful Announcing has written more articles about Fred than Jim Gray.
Let's do this.
You were on a run there for a while.
Let's do this. Awful Announcing writes about me a lot, and if I get shot, it's blood's on the author's hands, or stabbed or hurt in any way.
Yes, you are.
And that is in the universe.
Yeah, and you've put it out there enough times, and I know you will continue to.
No, because it's the greatest. I think that's the greatest because it would bug me so much. Like just that now they got to worry about me getting hurt. Because if I was the guy that wrote it, even though I could logically tell myself it didn't happen, you don't know the universal forces that. I mean, you could have angered whatever life force is responsible for us. All right, so here we go. John did the Bryant games. That I'm positive of. But I don't, why would you have said that about me in a written down or in a endorsement for Leonard Hair transplants?
We get quoted all the time.
No, it's not like it's mean. It's just like, why would you mention me? Like, I'm not saying like why, like in a negative way.
Because you endorsed them at the same time, and we were probably like back to back, like one picture went to the next when you're scrolling through, and it's Wes Welker, it's Charlie McAvoy, it's Tuukka Rask, and then you get down.
Okay.
Then it's Fred Toucher, then it's Hardy.
Okay, do you think Awful Announcing was around when Jim Gray did the Pete Rose interview? No, right? So when Jim Gray did the decision, do you think Awful Announcing was around?
No.
All right, so Jim Gray's done nothing.
He's the most vanilla-ass, stay out of trouble, do nothing journalist that we know. So the answer to the question is 2. 2 is the lie. The Hardy fact is the lie. That's what I think.
I agree.
Let's make it unanimous. We will all
Sink
go
or
down.
swim
We will
together,
all go down together, Billy Joel style.
Well, fellas, you made history. Y'all got me. So here was the real quote. I only tweaked it a little bit. Listeners know Fred is not exactly the most positive person, but he could not say enough good things about his experience with Dr. Leonard, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
So I subbed out not the most positive, made it a little bit stronger.
Right.
Not what Hardy said, but you can find it on the website. And there you go. Awful Announcing has written about Fred 26 times.
Jim Gray twice.
Jim Gray 18.
Oh, that's big. More than I thought.
Everybody.
Well, that takes away the 26 being at all impressive.
A lot of them have to do with Let's Go. And yeah, the first one they did was him not regretting the decision. Your interview with him obviously is on there.
Oh, yeah.
Did that count twice? Did that count for each one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you do a Nexus Lexus search or something like that?
No, so they in a lot of sites do this. They'll have tags.
He asked
so
Jeeves.
You can categorize if you want just all the Fred Toucher articles or the Hardy articles or the Jim Gray articles and the Tom Brady ones. Then you go count. Wallach has been broadcasting Bryant basketball since he was at WEEI, as I found November 2008.
That's correct.
So Obama had just been elected, but the final days of the George W. Bush administration.
That was Hardy's responsibility there because he got us to the a 4-year term.
Great job by all of you.
I deduced it, John.
You did very well deducing Hardy, as we all know.
Yes. Well, listen, that was a good one, regardless of us getting it all right. Andrew Callahan, thank you so much for the time.
Good to see you, Andrew.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1
right, there you go.
The best.
Andrew Callahan, thank you. It was a very quick hour. That means it was good. And here my voice is still remaining at 8:55 because I've changed the way I'm speaking.
Doesn't have the fastball today. Throwing knuckleballs today.
Yeah, I'm turning. My mic's up all the way. All right, so we will be back in just a moment.
You're listening. Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he throws to the end zone. It's caught. He's got it. Touchdown.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
A tough loss for the Celtics at TD Garden last night. They blew a 12-point fourth-quarter lead and lost to Houston 114-112. Amen Thompson capped off a career-high 33-point evening with the game-winning shot over Jaylen Brown with 0.7 of a second left. And Jason Tatum saw Dillon Brooks add 36 points while making 10 three-point shots.
I mean, we competed, played hard, we hit some shots, but you got to tip your hat off to him. I mean, Dillon Brooks hit 10 threes, and like you said, a franchise record. We didn't expect that, for sure.
Brown scored 28 for the Green. They host Chicago tomorrow night. Former Celtic guard Isaiah Thomas is going to turn 36 years old next month, but he hasn't given up on his dream. Yesterday, he signed a contract to play for the Utah Jazz G League team. Bruins in action tonight in Buffalo. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm were full participants in practice yesterday. Neither will play tonight, however. Mark Kastelik and Oliver Wahlstrom are also out. David Pasternak yesterday voted the NHL's #1 star for last week. And new Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel continues to add to his staff. Former Jacksonville and Buffalo head coach Doug Marrone is his new offensive line coach. Former Chicago offensive coordinator and interim head coach Thomas Brown has been hired as Vrabel's tight ends coach and passing game coordinator. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy.
I need Nicholas. I need to get him. Okay. No, I need you in studio.
Come sit on Uncle Freddie's lap. That's way too up-tempo for him. There you go. He's a pretty good trombone player.
Wow.
He's actually pretty good.
That was not bad.
I'm warmed up now. Thank you.
I don't need you anymore. You can go back. You can go back.
I just wanted to do
All
that.
right, Adam, he's coming back. He's coming back. You're just slowing the draw. No, you got to really slow it down. It takes him so long. Adam's running out of breath. Why does it take him so long to walk?
People were very upset at you earlier and on the emails yesterday for your treatment of young Nicholas.
What did I do to Nick today?
Oh, you came right out of the gate yelling at him.
About what? I wasn't yelling. I said I haven't yelled today because I can't. No. But no one was answering the phones, but I didn't yell about it. I just said no one's answering the phones. And I wonder if that happens.
You yelled with your eyes.
Yeah. I wonder if that happens on any other radio show in the history of radio shows, that there's no one answering the phone on the talk show. Like, that's just, I mean, I can't imagine. If you want to see someone who had to put their call screeners through the paces, I'll take you to one Phil Henry. I said it in his show, and he had to be brutal with them because they needed to know that the people weren't in on it.
It was a whole thing.
And it was a whole thing. So I've been in other people's studios. I've seen how they treat people. It's not so bad around here, believe me. Believe me.
There are people get treated a lot worse.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Low bar.
Ooh. You got that right.
All right. We're going to talk about the streaming options here for 98.5 The Sports Hub, Fred.
Yeah.
Okay. If you ever listen to 98.5 The Sports Hub online, you will hear different commercials and you will hear different advertisements that don't make it onto the regular airwaves. Why is that? Well, there are different options for advertisers, and maybe there are some things that aren't suitable necessarily for every audience member at every time, but we think our audience is pretty mature.
Yeah.
We think you can handle this.
Yeah, so we have had the one that are you going to play the one that was from before?
You are.
Okay. This is on, if you're listening to us on the stream, this is actually playing.
Yes.
During our program.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Have you ever wanted to give a bit more explosion from your grand finale? Introducing Load Boost, formulated by medical doctors at VB Health. Load Boost isn't just a supplement. With a blend of pygium, zinc, lecithin, and more.
So the point of this is something that no woman on the planet wants.
Yeah.
It's of no use to any woman, but we as men are so insane that this product has gotten off the ground and they've bought advertising and are paying a publicly traded media company to run this ad. And that conceivably guys are like, I would like more of that.
Have you ever wanted to give a bit more explosion from your grand finale?
Yeah, like the reason I can't get a second date is this pill can rectify.
The grand finale was lackluster. A lot of people thought the fireworks show, wasn't over. Like, that can't be it.
It's not even required to be on film. I mean, it's a nice little bonus for people, but it doesn't get you in the door.
Have you ever wanted to give a bit more explosion from your grand finale? Introducing Load Boost, formulated by medical doctors at VB Health. Load Boost isn't just a supplement. With a blend of pygium, zinc, lecithin, and more. There's a good reason why Load Boost is the favorite supplement of adult film stars that need to finish like a fire hose.
So, by the way, it's not just a supplement, yet it's the favorite supplement of
TT Boy.
Well, no, you don't know. I mean, it's not personally endorsed by anyone. I wonder if they had to get the AVN people, adult video news people involved. Or if these, because I'll tell you, if adult film stars have unionized, someone talk to Tyler Faith, Saugus' own Tyler Faith, adult film actress, and see if there's a adult film star union.
Want to improve the volume and health of your...
So we censored that, even though if you're listening to us, that plays. But we censored that, and I still don't really understand what it says, but that's probably for the best.
Load Boost is your guy. So if you're ready to turn that bedroom meh into more please, Load Boost has got you covered. Visit loadboost.com. That's loadboost.com.
Because everyone knows
what the woman wants. More please.
Well, that's
more please.
Yeah, that's the height of lovemaking. It's like, now that this is finally over, I can enjoy it. This is the part I enjoy the most. Get out of me. This is the
more
part
please.
What are you doing? Get out of me. I got to see this.
Adult film stars that need to finish like a fire hose.
Okay. That's
what? Just you sit there. This is going to happen soon enough, and you'll be impressed. Let me get mentally ready, and when it happens, you're going to just know. Just sit there. You're going to tell your friends, this guy really has got it going on. All right.
More please.
More please. Thank you. Check, please. All right. So that's why you put that on your dating profile.
So maybe that's why when somebody alerted us to this next ad, we weren't all that surprised.
All right. This I've never heard. Here we go.
Hi there. It's your vagina speaking.
No, hello. Oh, I wish. Hardy
it's your
loves
vagina
this.
Speaking.
To give birth. Ooh.
Yeah, it's the weirdest bit you do that resonates with no one other than you, or maybe. Yeah. You got to trust me on this one. You got to let me be your ears on this one. Yeah.
To carry child.
Yeah, I don't know what character you're doing or what person you're trying to invoke, but it doesn't work.
It bothers you
does
so
not
much.
work.
All right, here we go.
Hi there. It's your vagina speaking. I know sometimes I have a hard time heading there when we get down, but OMG Cream from Wisp is here to help.
Huh?
Whoa.
I don't know.
So vague.
I don't even know what they're advertising.
Maybe this is only in woman speak.
Hi there. It's your vagina speaking. I know sometimes I have a hard time heading there when we get down.
So this
First
is
of all, terrible editing on this.
Yeah, and why is the vagina British? If
it's Australian, actually. Sounds Australian.
I think
Aussie vagina.
I think 12 is on to this.
Fair enough, but I mean, say this person is from the Middle East. Their vagina is talking to them with an Australian accent. Is everyone from, I guess, down under?
Hey,
that's fun. Maybe that's why they did it.
But OMG Cream from Wisp is here to help. The instant arousal makes it easier to, It takes 2 minutes to order online, so let's give it a try.
Makes it easier to...
Makes it easier to, you know.
Does that mean...
I don't know.
Does that mean it makes it easier to be stimulated, or is it the female equivalent of the load boost?
I don't think so. I think this is merely a
concoction to stimulate
viscosity.
arousal?
No, I think it's KY.
Yes, the lubrication.
I think that's all it is.
Yes.
Have you ever needed that?
No.
Yeah, you haven't, Johnny.
In
Where's
case
your trombone?
In case you were wondering, which I know you were.
No, I asked you. I was wondering.
Sorry, did I answer that one too fast? I apologize.
It was good.
I should have waited.
No. It was good.
OMG. I literally just went to heaven. I'm going to try that again. Go tell your friends, though. Get on Wisp. Order OMG cream online at hellowisp.com. That's hello, WISP.com, and have it delivered for free. Use code OMG for 15% off your first order.
I'll tell you, women have everything when it comes to that. When it comes to self-pleasure, they got a whole gamut of devices. If they ever invented one, I've said this many times, if they ever invented a self-stimulation device that like was really good for guys, I mean, especially now, it would be like Facebook. You'd be like Zuckerberg. You'd be one of the richest people on the planet. But they've never created the technology. They've tried to in prisons around the nation with the Fifi phenomenon, but it has not come to pass.
Okay, so HelloWisp.com says sexual health care on your terms. And then the only thing I see are trusted treatments for weight care, birth control, UTI, and then some conditions I don't even want to say out loud.
So they have concoctions that are they prescription? Is it like a Hims?
Yeah, Hardy, describe what it is exactly.
There's one of my, seriously, we will get in trouble if we talk. Genital herpes and cold sores, that one we can say. Yeast infection, that one we can say.
Okay, so I don't want, but just, this is a cure-all for all of it? Because that's dangerous ground.
I don't know what this, I don't know why you go to Hello Wisp and then it's mostly about UTIs and other stuff.
Maybe that's how it's a bait and switch. Is they get you in thinking that they have some magic potion, and the next thing you know,
OMG.
They get you on there and you got your herpes cure.
I literally just went to heaven.
My herpes is gone.
Because that's that sounds like stuff that would be embarrassing to buy, like at a store or ask for at a pharmacy, so that you would have an online business that's like an online pharmacy. I mean, there's the equivalent of that for guys. I hear those ads. They got them. Get anything. I guess you can get ketamine therapy through the internet, so who knows? All right. Well, I'm glad that exists. Ladies, you have everything now. You have something that you just put it on, and you're in heaven.
Instant arousal.
I mean, some of us take magnesium, but for you, it's OMG powder.
It makes it easier to,
I'm telling you, that sounds like, to me, like that might be the female equivalent of the men thing.
Oh, wow. Now we're getting into real mysteries.
Like, I don't know why that happens with some people and some people it doesn't, but I mean,
hello.
It might be. Well, no, you couldn't do it. It would be specific to the lady. All right.
I literally just went to heaven.
Okay.
A
tidal wave.
That's who we need to ask.
Yes, indeed.
That's who we need to ask about this. You don't think he's researched this? That's the one thing I got for the conversation I heard.
I mean, it is a mystery.
Yeah.
Whenever any of us have I mean, I don't know if you have in your own lives, but whenever you face it, you're just like, ooh, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here?
Face it, so to speak.
Yeah. All right. We will be back with our award-winning email segment with you in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy.
should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, if you want to find our emails, you can go to 985thesportshub.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Toucher and Hardy. You can follow us on Instagram at Toucher and Hardy and at Hardy985 and at Fred Toucher, where we are. When I first started this exercise, I was at 23,000. Now I'm at 24,000 and a half. So I'm gonna start enlisting. I'm gonna start rating food on a scale of booms. Okay. I'm gonna enlist some of the neighbors' kids, and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna rate it on a. I'm thinking about maybe writing a rap song. That's the future of media. All right. So what do you have? We got an interesting one yesterday. And I'm going to see if I can find it. I have so many emails in here.
I can start with one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's about you being mean to Nick. Fred, you're such a dick to Nick. You said he's looking out the window. What an idiot. And when Adam started saying, no, he's fact-checking something, you ignored him and cut him off.
There was no reason to
explain.
be. First of all, there's no fact-checking. What the hell is going? When has that been necessary to fact-check? It's not our business. It's not journalism. You don't have to fact check something. And if I was fact checking something, I would certainly not ask Nicholas.
Why are you mad that he was fact checking something? In another scenario, you'd be mad at him for not fact checking something.
No, that scenario doesn't exist. I did not ask him to fact check anything. Did anyone? Adam, did you ask him to fact check something?
I did not. I don't remember the subject.
But I do, because it drove everyone crazy. It's like when Trump had the fast food for
the many
people.
friends. Yeah, we were trying to figure out if it was before or after the pandemic.
Yeah, put down that banana because I might need your hands and mouth.
It's better for him to just
Very
do
soon.
it. And if it's not needed,
With
then
with that thing you got over there.
It's
I put that away already.
Oh Jesus, Adam!
It's better.
Every time I talk about Nick, I want you playing the trombone.
All right, I'll take it back out again.
It's better for him to just do it, and if it's not needed, then it's not needed. He can't win no matter what he does.
Unless he answered the phone, then he'd win every day. If he answered the phone, that would be the greatest. But he doesn't answer the phone, so here we are. Nick does videos and answers the phone and does a lot of stuff off the air. Not during the show. He's not needed to fact check. That's not needed from him. There's 3 guys back there, and Nick doesn't need to fact check. Nick needs to know what is going on in the show and be answering phones. That's what he needs to be doing. Okay, go ahead.
Why does Fred ask for Nick and then admonish him when he asks him to talk on the air? Fred's got the short fuse, not Nick.
No. Nick has got an incredibly short fuse. He starts going, anyone can tell you. I wish we had video of it. Anytime I say his name, if he's not thinking about it, he starts going nuts.
I don't know if short fuse is the right word to use, though, because that usually is connected to someone who gets angry quickly. I don't think Nick gets angry quickly.
Oh, I don't know. He just I can't tell what he's doing. If he was a mime, you would think he was angry because he's gesticulating all around. He's like spazzing out over there, like like he's throwing his hands in the air and yelling at me. Like I can see it through the window. He has this incredulous look on his face, like he's very angry. I don't know if he's not expressing anger. I don't know then he's moving wrong, because every one of his moving parts is telling me that he's angry. So that starts, and then I ask him to get on the microphone, and that's a whole production. And then when he finally gets up to get over there, that's another 5 minutes, and then there we are, and that can lead to frustration. And I shouldn't be raising my voice. I'll have you know. These people. This is another thing. This guy that emails, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so it doesn't matter. This is another thing about the Trump Clemson football team, which apparently wasn't during COVID. It was in 2018.
Oh.
If you and Hardy are Trump people, why don't you guys admit it? It's obvious that both of you agree with everything he does. Just admit it. And
I thought about that when I put on this red quarter zip today. I'm like, oh, people are going to think this is like some kind of MAGA gear.
Got to get the hat to match.
It was my I know what it was. It was my bold take that that they shouldn't invite athletes to the White House if they're not going to come. That I think that's a good strategy. That was my blind loyalty to Trump.
Yes.
The idea that
it's finally showing.
If the idea that if you're going to invite some people to something publicly and they're going to publicly turn it down, maybe it's best not to invite them at all.
I think that's what they decided to do.
Yeah, which I thought was a good idea.
Right.
Far be it from me to get on that much of a political. I mean, I am walking that tightrope. Don't worry about me. I don't watch the news.
Next up, tariffs.
Yeah.
No, we're not we're talking about inviting teams who have won things to the White House.
Believe me, don't worry about me and the politics.
We're not talking about whether they should go or not. We're just talking about, do you think the White House will continue to extend invitations? That was the conversation.
Yeah, I'm out on politics. I'm out. I'm out on what's going on in the world. I'm completely covering my ears. I don't care. Until they come and get me, then they'll know because I'll be armed to the hilt.
Right. Corey has an email. Good morning, Mr. Poole. Would you classify what Adam 12 is doing today as honking on the bobo? And if not, could you please explain what that saying means? It's one of my favorite terms you use. Makes me chuckle all the time. No, honking on the bobo is playing the harmonica.
Yeah. Be Real said we should give him a harmonica for his birthday so he could play it on the train. But and maybe play it at the train station and have people throw stuff at him. But I like how Adam put the trombone away before the show was over because he didn't like it being exposed to the air that long.
Yeah. Leave them wanting more. He's a savvy performer. Boy. It's back out.
No, but he had to put it away.
No, but it's it was by design. It's a zoo in here in like 5 minutes, and I'm trying to make space for the next show to come in.
No, and but let's be honest,
protect the brass.
How much does that thing run you?
Oh, I mean, like a nice new trombone would cost you like thousands of dollars. I bought this when I was in high school.
Oh, you've had it since high school?
Yeah, you keep it for
Nick,
life.
break it. Nick, go in there and break it and see if he cries.
Do you have to lubricate the slide?
Yes, absolutely.
How much maintenance?
I literally just went to heaven.
Nice.
Do you have to, what's the maintenance like on that thing? Do you have to take it in to get shined and stuff?
No, I mean you can, but I like to look like it has character.
What about the trombone brought you to it?
The fact that it was the second choice on the list when I was in middle school. I actually wanted to play the saxophone, and they said too many people signed up for saxophone, so you're going to play trombone because that was your second choice.
Do you think that was almost a
kismet?
Yeah, like something that can't be explained, that some force put that instrument in your hands and it was going to be your friend for life?
I explained earlier, it was a gateway to a lot of things for me. I got to go to Berkeley and Northeastern on scholarships because not necessarily because of talent. I'm not trying to say that, but because
you're too modest for that.
There's not a lot of people.
You're too modest for that.
There's not a lot of people.
Would you have been able to go to Northeastern without?
Modest, I'm just humble.
Would you have been?
That's right, TT boy.
Would you have been able to go to Northeastern without the trombone?
Would I have been able to go? Yes, but I'd still be paying for it now. I mean, I got in, but, it was the scholarship.
No, would you have been able to afford to go?
Oh, I mean, I would have gone somewhere. I might as well have gone there. It was all pretty much pricing out the same at the time, so. But that pushed it over the edge. Get a scholarship someplace, you got to take it.
Do you got a name for that trombone?
No, I don't. I'm not like B.B. King and Willie Nelson naming my instrument.
What's Willie Nelson's guitar's name?
Trigger.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't say it anymore. Wow. It's in Huckleberry Finn.
Jesus.
The trombone.
I'm just jazzed that it is making you laugh so much.
Just the trombone is so funny that you play that thing.
It's a ridiculous instrument.
It really is. It's funny.
We had a tweet earlier. Someone was saying, "Thank you, my 4-year-old toddler is loving this because every 4-year-old toddler thinks the trombone is hilarious."
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It seems like it takes a lot to play it, too. Go ahead, Jonathan. You got something.
Sarah from Everett has been emailing me and me exclusively for some reason. And this one, I'm not sure I understand why. It's just one line. My brother used to shoot birds, nurse them back to health, and then try and shoot them again. What were we talking about?
No, she's just talking to you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So he was mean to you,
Yeah.
but then he'd be nice to you,
Right.
so that he could be mean to you again. She emailed me several times yesterday and again today. She sent me a screenshot of a tweet from the Bridgewater police that says, report of a female screaming, party located, watching the Celtics game. That was September of 2020. She sent me that screenshot along with this. That was me at my boyfriend's family during COVID. His dad made me a T-shirt from the police post.
Let me see what's doing with Sarah from Everett. I've never seen what she looks like.
No, she just screenshotted the actual Bridgewater police Twitter thing.
I thought it was like a news story.
No.
All right, because this Sarah from Everett, she's only mean to me.
There's only one photo I saw of her, and it was from a long time ago. It was when she claimed to have went to the prom with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And the photographic evidence she sent was of only one of them, and it was a group photo, and she's kind of like leaning in from the side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at a movie theater, and she's standing. They're way bigger than her, and she's standing underneath them. She just wore a dress to the movie.
But it's a weird theater because they're actually, if there must have been a bar in Cambridge, one of them smart kids bars, and they were in there, and she was in a theater, I guess, attached to the bar. It was weird.
Benjamin says, Adam, you're going to need your instrument for this.
Okay.
It says, can you please have Adam stop with the trombone? We get it. He's a freak. Adam, how does that make you feel? You like that, I guess.
It really has become the Charlie Brown adults, isn't it? Like the adults in Charlie Brown talk through the wah-wah trombone.
But the way you express sadness is very odd to me. You express it with very happy, upbeat music.
I was indignant there. That's
okay. You were expressing being
That was
indignant.
the indignant riff.
How does one incorporate the mute or the wah-wah, because both hands are being used when you're...
Yeah, he put that plunger away. He let him go get it.
Yeah, but how do you do that? Because you got one hand to hold and the other hand to work the slide.
I'm glad you asked, Hardy.
This is going to be fascinating.
See what you have. See, you got to, as a trombone player, you hold the bone in your left hand, and you work the slide with your right hand.
That's called the stranger.
Yeah, you sit...
You got to sit on your hand for 5 minutes before you
your
start
left
playing.
hand, if you're right hand.
And then you put it on the bone.
So if you're going to use the plunger mute, you then have to hold. You kind of have to still use your left hand to hold the trombone, but
the bell.
Yeah, the bell. So
But you guys refer to it as the bone.
So that's right. The wrist goes against the bell of the bone, and then the hand can work the plunger while you work the.
Now, is that a plunger, like a real plunger
It's
from a
legitimate,
toilet?
Like I went to the hardware store, bought a plunger, took the stick off of it, and that's the mute. Are you disappointed by that? Did you want it to be a special? There are special mutes for the trombone.
No,
There's a bucket mute
I was hoping that it had been used.
Yes, of course, sure.
It had not been?
Don't clean it.
Yeah, seriously. Don't clean the spit valve.
Why
either.
is it a new? Can't it be an old one?
Just do the spit valve above my head, if you would. All right. Well, there you go. We've had a live trombone in for a lot of the show.
You gonna need this for the stack, Hardy, or pack this up?
No, you can pack it up. I know you're very uncomfortable keeping it out. Mitchell says, I was listening to the show earlier. I'd like to send Hardy a hard hat. I work in a warehouse, so we have plenty of them. What would be the address to send to the station? Oh. Well, you would send it to the station. I would have to look up the address like
1075 Main Street, Waltham, Massachusetts.
Suite 300.
Suite 300. What's the zip code?
02451.
There you go.
So you can go ahead and send it to us. 1075 Main Street, Suite 300. Waltham, Massachusetts, 02451. You'd like that hard hat, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I might actually. I've got some tree work to do this spring, and I might put the hard hat on when I'm out there cutting limbs. And and taking some trees down.
What do you normally use when you're out there? Do you have a hard hat as it is?
No.
So you just go out there without a hat on?
No, I wear a hat, but
But you don't wear a hard hat. What if a limb was to hit you in the head?
I've been going to. If I had a hard hat, I would wear it.
And what example does that set for your children? That you're out there doing the
I'll
danger
tell you
work.
something. The last time we did tree work in the fall, I had the boy out there helping me, and everything. Any time I ask him to do something with me, okay, how long is it going to take? And my answer is, so much longer if you ask me that one more time. I will invent ways to extend this project. And also, what else do you have to do? Okay?
That's the better question.
Yeah.
I have one kid that's like that.
Yeah.
That's the better question.
But once we started, once we fired up the saws and got stuff going out there, he really liked it. It's fun. It's destructive. It's good. It's good fun for a 14-year-old boy.
So my daughter was going to the Rentham out. Here's an exercise, very quick one. My daughter was going to the Rentham outlets this weekend with a friend. She is 14. My dog happened to be sick, and he was throwing up all over the place. And he had thrown up by his crate. Not like a big deal. It was like one of the last throw ups, so there was it wasn't that gross. What was the negotiation? And I had to leave the house. What was the negotiation to get her to clean up the throw up in his crate? And in terms of what I had to give her, she was going to the Rentham outlet,
Right.
so she needed money.
You had to buy her
So how much money did you have to give her for shopping in order to get her to clean up the dog vomit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be shocked, not because your kid is spoiled or you did this wrong.
No, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
In today's dollars.
I'm going to say it was $100.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
That's 50.
Oh.
But it took $50. There was a negotiation that went on.
So you're lucky because my daughter, who is 4 years older than yours, would just say no.
Well, yeah. If I asked my son, he'd say, "Well, you get my son's got a little of that you in him. Like if you get him going on something." Like he wants that project finished.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like he put together a shoe rack.
There's a reason why he and I hit it off.
Yeah, when I left his friends got a kick out of that video. When I left the house, I said, "Can you put together this thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll put it together." And then when I came back, it was all done, and he'd organized things I didn't even ask him to organize. And then I was like, "Hey, let me pay you." He was like, "I don't want your money." He's like, just the satisfaction is the job well done.
Look at that.
I've done well with him.
Hardy.
Well, you've seen his room.
In pride.
He's got this big attic. He's like Greg Brady, but it's the only fully furnished, decorated room in the house.
Yeah.
The birds are gone. Are the birds gone? Or the birds still gone?
No, I made fun of him too much about it. I think that's over.
He brought it back though. He had good recall on that.
Yeah.
Benchmark bit. He knows.
It's torturing him. It's going to create a whole complex. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with the award-winning stack.
Sports Hub headline.
All right, so it is the stack, the end of the show. We're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. All right, Hardy, let's bring this tanker in.
All right.
And get to the real playground, which is our afternoons. Imagine having 10 a.m. on to just do whatever you want. I mean, that's really the day's our playground.
God. Wouldn't that be nice if you left here feeling energetic and good, and you literally had the rest of the day to do whatever you wanted?
Matty Siegel used to get out of work because he would get in at 6:30. He would leave the house at 6:05. He would get in at 6:30. Yeah. He said he would say backlog all the songs in the 6 o'clock hour and commercials.
Right.
He would get in. He would get out. There was nothing more for him to do. His kids were grown, and he would go to Blue Hill and play golf because he liked it, and then he would screw around and then he'd wake up the next morning and do it again. He had his life is much different than mine. Women loved him, people loved him. It's very little return on investment for me with this thing.
Maybe not so much the staff, but in terms of the audience.
He was best friends with that guy the guy that backstabbed him, Billy Costa. He was best friends with that guy.
I don't know if he backstabbed him. Yeah.
Depends who you talk to.
All right. You remember the Vans Warped Tour?
Yeah, sure. I went to it. Sure. I had to broadcast from it several times.
They've still been doing it, I guess. This is, according to months of anticipation, the first lineup has been made for this year's 30th anniversary celebration of the Vans Warped Tour. So it's going to be a touring festival. They're not going to Lollapalooza this thing and just stick it in one city for 3 days. But it will be hitting 3 cities across the year.
Oh, Jesus. Is it that expensive to bring festivals around?
First time they've done it since 2019. And this according to Variety magazine. The bands are Simple Plan, Bowling for Soup, and a reunited Dance Hall Crashers.
Yeah, but you know who
Where's
else
the
is playing?
trombone?
Which one were the Dance Hall Crashers? Were they Come On Eileen?
No,
that was Say Ferris. Dance Hall Crashers didn't even really have a hit, but I mean, you get these guys.
Pennywise will also be there.
Yeah, but they have to play the Vans Warped Tour. It's contractually obligated. Because they're an Epitaph band, they have to play.
Ooh. Miss May I, Chandler Layton.
Is that Bro Him?
What else would it be?
Anything but Bro Him. Pennywise aren't a bad band. It's just Bro Him is not their best song.
Here's something that is going to shock everybody.
Wait.
You got a call?
All right, go ahead. Kara?
Hi, guys.
Hello, Kara.
No, it's Sarah from Everett.
Oh,
Hi,
it's Sarah.
Sarah.
Well, Nick put in Kara. So you got that going. Because how would he know it's Sarah from Everett? Sarah, why are you so cruel to me in email?
I'm pulling on your pigtails.
Oh.
So you're saying that you're interested, Sarah?
No.
What?
I did old man porn the other night.
You did? You looked at it? And then did you, to envision me, you looked at old men?
Yeah. Isn't that somebody said old men porn?
Yeah, I had a girl as a compliment tell me that she looked up old man porn fantasizing about me.
What kind of situation is your condition in this morning, Sarah? It's not a dummy gummy Wednesday. You all right?
No, I'm sick and I'm hepped up on goofballs. I'm not in a good place. So
what are you sick with?
I got the cold.
Yeah. Well, who's walking your dogs?
The Narnia virus. I don't know.
It's not an HPV situation.
No, I don't have any sexual diseases.
Okay.
No.
What about your dogs that you walk on a regular basis?
I don't walk them till Thursday or Friday. The one in Newton is actually here with me because they're about to have their second child.
Oh.
So he's aware that I'm ill, and it's all good.
Sarah, when was the last? So you walked the dog in Newton. Around where in Newton? What part? What township?
Fred, you almost hit me in a crosswalk. I've seen you right in Newton Center, and then I walk all the way down to the Good Day, whatever center. And
Sure.
I have to say, for such a rich town, you guys got to do a better job shoveling.
So, how many times have you seen me?
I've seen you twice when you longingly looked at me. I sent you a picture this morning. Did you get it?
No, I don't know. I didn't open up all the email. I get a lot of emails. So I looked at you. I looked at you longingly.
Yeah, we've been over this. Yep.
Where?
You looked at me longingly, and then I saw you on your Bronco at an intersection in Newton Center.
And you didn't? Did you? Why don't you say anything to me when you see me?
What do you always say? You never want to meet your heroes. I don't. I'm not that interested.
It sounds like she was trying to.
Wait, you're not that interested, but you see me and you recall where you saw me. That the two things don't meet up.
No, it does. I don't care.
But you,
I don't care.
But you do care. You called into the show I work on.
No, she doesn't care that you don't believe her.
Fred, here's the thing. I walk dogs. I have zero interaction with humans from about 4:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. That's why I started listening to talk radio, and that's why I appreciate you. And I love you guys.
I love you too, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
I hope you feel better.
Did you get my story?
What's your story?
I once moonlighted at a restaurant as a co-check girl, and I was dating a trombone player, and an NFL coach in the late 90s from New England got rolled by a hooker in the bathroom.
You dated a trombone player.
It's a good move.
Yes, that's why I mentioned that a lot.
Sarah, is the picture you sent me of yourself?
Yeah. I'm in my fucking Celtics t-shirt.
And it's a recent picture?
No. I made that t-shirt in 2011 when the Bruins won.
Yeah. When did you take the picture?
2011.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. You want a new one?
Yeah. Start sending me pictures.
Not when you're sick.
The last picture I've ever taken was on my 50th birthday. I'll send it to you. That's it. I don't want to take pictures anymore.
How old are you?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. If it was your 50th birthday, it could have been 20 years ago.
No. Come on. I'm not married. Give me a break.
Oh, Mary. That's right.
I love your program. I listen to you every day on the way to work.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Have a great day, you guys.
You too.
Bye, Sarah. There you go. Sarah from Everett.
I don't want to hear this other crap you guys are talking about.
Okay, Mary.
Because if that was a recent picture, I would be like, all right. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone.